Hello, everyone, and welcome to Geeky Geezers. I am your host, Aged Boomer. My co-host, PaPa Pacelli.
Hey,
Pacelli.
how's it going? Staying sober till Friday.
What you sipping on then?
I am sipping on a Coke Zero. It's a Diet Cherry Coke.
Oh.
I'm not going to call it whatever they're calling it this week. It's a Diet Cherry Coke.
I have a Canada Dry Ginger Ale and Orangeade.
Is that two drinks or one mixed together?
It comes in a can.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
Tastes like perfume. I'm kidding. Okay. Anyway,
oh my gosh.
It's not that bad. I'm messing. That was a line from Mad Men where Don Draper keeps trying to get his new wife to try orange sherbet, and she finally gets mad and tries it and says, "Great, it tastes like perfume." And it's like he's all angry.
That is kind of funny because if you think about orange sherbet, it does have that slightly off chemical flavor because it tastes nothing like real orange.
I like orange sherbet though. I like fake oranges and real oranges, so I guess I'm weird that way. Let me welcome the chat. Brian Gilmartin, Auditor Dread, Melissa Harris and Sons, Netters Network. Hi, Nanette. She says hi, sweetie.
Yep.
In the chat. Let me see here. And hold on, I'm all messed up tonight. Hold on.
Hi.
Yeah, she's on the delay because she's not in the StreamYard.
No, it's fine though. Happy to hear from you, Nanette. Okay, Wolf 10 Media. Hey, thank you for stopping by. Horizon Talker. Did I mention these people already? Brian Gilmartin. Big Al presents. Have a great time, geezers.
Yeah.
Horizons. Oh, okay. Brian. Daniel Heron. Oh, Daniel Heron's here. Okay, is your internet back up and running? I don't know. Hope so.
Yeah, we definitely missed you the other night.
It's all right. We'll have fun with the great outdoors, right?
I had to hangover stream on Saturday night. So I told the story last night. I told it again this morning, but for the viewers, I just want to get this out there. I really didn't. I way underestimated Jameson when I had one glass of Jameson, but I drank it way too fast. I decided couple weeks ago I was no longer going to be drinking the cheap stuff that comes in plastic bottles. I said for $5-10 tops more, I'm getting the good stuff from now on. So I got a bottle of Jameson, and I'd never had Jameson before, and it was smooth. It was nice, and it went down way too easily, and I drank that glass down in that 1 hour that you and I were talking. And Nanette pointed out later, she's like, yeah, and if you think about it, you hadn't eaten in well over 4 hours because I had a very early dinner. My assumption was I was going to eat, take a nap, and then get up for my stream, and I'd be all rested. Not thinking that I'd be drinking on an empty stomach.
Is this why they have pretzels and peanuts in bars?
Exactly. And normally I'm much wiser about what Netter is even wiser than I am about booze sponges and so forth. Remember, she's the one who gave me my first drink when I turned 21. But I messed up. And so we got into the stream over on Wolf 10 Media's channel, and I got as far as the intro and the black and white opening of the movie, and I remember nothing after that. Not a thing. And Netter said, I put in the private chat that you weren't going to be able to stream. I must have said some things because I think I said, I don't know. I went quiet for a little while. I was having some problems. Yeah, I was having some serious problems. I was wasted.
Okay. I need some Jameson. That's what I'm thinking.
I'll tell you, man. You take it slow. It was good, but take it slow.
Did I've drunk before though. I did a beer bong once many years ago. That was fun. I did cider.
Is that where you have a big thing of beer and you drop a shot into it?
Here's what it is. No, it's like a funnel that you hold over your head. And
oh my gosh!
I did a hard cider through that. Hard cider goes down pretty smooth. Actually,
sure it does. Yeah.
And I used to get made fun of though during the MFA days. Like, oh, it's not a man's drink. Like cider has more alcohol or whatever. So I started drinking other things. I did end up enjoying the Moscow Mule. Which
Moscow mules are so good.
Okay, I didn't know. Is that like that's not like a hipster drink, is it? Okay, because I like
Oh
Moscow mules.
no.
It's like ginger. It has that ginger in it, you know.
Well,
and
it may have become. I mean, because these hipsters like to pillage and plunder, old timey things and anything that might be considered steampunkish or whatever. But I don't care about that. Screw them. I am not letting them ruin good stuff for me.
Okay. Oh, Wolf to Media says something to me. PaPa Pacelli's health was all that mattered to me, so I was discreet at the end of the stream when we wrapped up. Yes, thank you.
I appreciate that. But it's my mess to uncover, and I think I need to be open with the fans, that tune in every week and are like, hey, I thought you could hold your alcohol. Well, normally I can, but this is how I messed up. So just a lesson for you kids at home.
Just be careful with the Jameson. Hey, you know what I had for breakfast today? I went to a place went to a place called Skillets, and I got the Belgian waffle with sunny side up eggs and some kind of chicken sausage they have only at this place.
See, I've heard that's a southern thing. That's
what?
Real. That whole chicken waffle thing I've heard.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. No, this was like sausage. I used to get it with the pancakes, but you're right. I technically had chicken and waffles.
Yeah.
I've had chicken and waffles other places too. They actually have it at IHOP if you're ever interested.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. They serve it up here.
It's so weird. It's like you're getting two meals.
I've never been big on what's normally considered to be Southern cuisine. When I used to spend my summers in Ohio, they started opening up Bob Evans. And I remember going in for breakfast there with my grandma and grandpa, my very Italian grandmother and grandfather. And they bring out my grandfather just ordered his basic sunny side up eggs, toast, sausage, whatever. They bring out, and he's got the biscuits with the gravy. And he's like, who threw up on my plate? And he says it real loud. And everyone's like, oh, gosh. And what's the matter? And he's like, what the hell is this? She goes, it's biscuits and gravy. He goes, oh my God, that looks horrible. Take it away.
He said that?
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you something. I'd been going to Bob Evans off and off for years, and they were never my big favorite.
Sure.
And then one day I decided I'm going to do it. I'm going to order the homesteader's breakfast that comes with the biscuits and gravy.
Sure.
I tried the biscuits and gravy. It is one of the best things I've ever tasted. He should have tried it. He missed out. Well, it looks disgusting. I agree. It does look like someone threw up, but it is amazing.
When you also consider what's in it, I am better off not finding out that
I'm not thinking
it is bacon grease and flour. I do not need that in my life.
Hey, that I'm sure they make it differently at Bob Evans.
Anyway. I mean, you'll see me doing the whole Chris Farley punching myself in the chest thing.
I go there once a month. Leave me alone. Anyway, okay. No, the biscuits.
It'll take a month to work that stuff out of your system.
No, it is not. It is. I did the calorie count. It wasn't that bad. Okay. Anyway.
It's just the saturated fats clogging. I am saying,
well, you go to Cracker Barrel, get your sad sawmill gravy, and pretend that's as good as the sausage gravy they have at Bob Evans. Okay. Anyway, we need to talk about the good old days, and we didn't think of a topic, but I had one in my mind. Okay.
Okay. I was enjoying talking about alcohol, but whatever.
Want to talk about old beer commercial? You want to talk about Spuds McKenzie? No, I'm kidding.
You remember Spuds McKenzie? I was kind of crushed to find out that Spuds McKenzie was actually a female dog. I'm like, well, that kind of ruins it. But then I don't want to think. But I also don't want to think too much about that because we're talking dog, pretty women. Let's not
go there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was thinking. I don't know if you have strong memories about this, but I was thinking Easter just passed. Do you have any strong memories concerning the 10 Commandments on TV?
Gosh, yeah. Now, because it's been years since I've seen that movie. There's a scene where Moses jumps down to save the little old Jewish woman.
Yes.
Who's getting whipped by the.
Yes.
Okay, and that's
by the Egyptian. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Was that supposed to have been his real mother? That character? My mother always thought that it was, and I was like, I don't know.
I want to say no, but she might have looked similar. I'd have to rewatch it again now. That I don't know.
See?
I remember the scene though. He's like the the blood of old women makes for poor mortar, and well, he's
Yeah.
kind of right there actually. Come
Well,
on,
yeah.
don't. Hey, we got a schedule to keep, and I'm not going to try and rescue this old woman. We got to put the stones together. What an ass! I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie! I used to watch it every Easter. They always had it on Easter when I was growing up. And
Yep.
of course, that's around the time Passover is anyway, so it
Right.
makes sense. And I grew up with that. You'd sit at the TV and you'd have commercials. That thing would go on for 4 or 5 hours.
Yep.
And you just sit there.
I remember that. It was an event, you know, and I remember we would watch that every year. And I remember my mom even saying, you know, this is really cool because the Christians can enjoy it, the Jews can enjoy it, and everybody's happy.
Yeah, it's a
nowadays it's all the atheists that just want to say, nope, can't have that. Can't have anything you want.
It's a root story for all the Abrahamic faiths. I mean, I think even Islam would follow that story. Yeah,
I would imagine so.
But Big Al Presents says it was his mother. Okay, well, that's a little on the nose.
Yeah,
but that's Hollywood back then.
Yeah, you're right.
I had kind of the hots for Nefertiti too. I have to be honest with you.
Well,
okay?
yeah, I don't blame you on that one, right?
It's like, and what was funny though is another Hollywood crush I have, Deborah Paget, who's a more recent old Hollywood crush. It's funny because like I think I'm gonna come off so bad on this stream. Okay,
oh gosh,
you're
gonna get me too'd here.
You know, some people always talk about what their imaginary harem would be, but they pick like comic characters or something. I tend to pick like movie actresses though, and like Deborah Paget's up there. Deborah Paget, she played the water lily girl, you know, the one that came with the water.
Oh yeah.
Deborah Paget, she both Elvis Presley and Howard Hughes were wanting to marry her. Did you know that?
I'm not surprised. I remember her from the Indian Tomb, where she does the snake dance.
You know that movie?
Oh yeah.
That recently came out on Blu-ray. I picked that up, and I was so mad on the second disc. It's like, okay, can't you just have an immediate chapter stop just at the start of the dance? No, it's got to be like 10 minutes before the dance. You sons of, just put that as a special feature on this. Anyway, let's not. You can find it on YouTube. Look up Deborah Paget Indian Tomb. Anyway,
I'm sure you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
And anyway, I wonder if that got censored in the U.S. version. When that was a German epic made by Fritz Lang, and it's about.
I'll bet you can find the unedited version online somewhere.
It's not. There's nothing in it that I think would be explicit. Well, actually, it might be explicit by today's standards.
I was going to say, wait until we get to our James Bond talk.
Yeah, it'll come full circle. Anyway, though, 10 Commandments. Okay,
yeah.
You're talking about the Indian Tomb. I'm going to start getting distracted. Okay?
I'm sorry.
Anyway, 10 Commandments.
Get ye behind me, Satan. He's saying.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm telling you, the poor prince in that movie. Anyway, okay. Or the Maharaja, not the prince. Anyway, we're talking about Egypt, 10 Commandments, the Hebrews. Okay.
Yep.
She ends up first, Vincent Price, he tries to
that's right.
The evil Vincent Price, who actually, that's a neat scene where he kills the Egyptian because that's from the Bible. I remember that. And then you have she ends up getting stuck with what's his name, Edward G. Robinson. And I'm like, that's even a step down from Vincent Price, because at least, oh man. And I have to say, I did watch it a couple years ago, not this year, but like a couple years ago, I did watch the 10 Commandments, and I made a remark that Ramses is like the modern character in that movie. You know,
kinda.
His lines are funny. It's like he the things he say is, it's like, I want to say like a boss every time he speaks. Like Nefertiti says, "I'll never love you," and he's like, "Well, since when does that matter?"
Right, exactly. I'm not asking you to love me.
Oh, he has that wonderful line at the end after his whole army gets trashed and he's on the throne, and like Nefertiti's scowling at him, and he goes, "His God is God," and that's how it ends. And it's a wonderful scene. And then it goes to the other thing with of course, the golden calf scene. Remember that?
Oh yeah. Nutter just pointed out to me, we need to say hi to some new people that just joined in. Hey, Joshua V, good to see you there. Leia plus size, welcome. Glad you made it.
Plus size, nice to see you.
And Did we get Horizon Talker earlier? This is probably the third time we're saying hi to Horizon Talker.
No, we got her. But welcome, Leia Plus Size, Trooper FN 2525. Welcome. We were just talking about the 10 Commandments, and I don't know if you have. Oh, someone had a comment too about the snake dance. But anyway, see, here's the problem.
Yeah, I get people.
This is the problem with you see, you're tempting me now. Okay, okay. And this is supposed to make, watching 10 Commandments is supposed to put you in a righteous frame of mind. Okay. Anyway, though,
I'm sure that it comes up in the algorithms because, those.
Anyway, what were we talking?
We're talking about the 10 Commandments.
This is my fault. I didn't even check with him before the stream.
Easter Bible-y over here.
Okay, but anyway, did you eat your Easter candy while watching the 10 Commandments?
I had no Easter candy.
You never got Easter candy? Not even a bunny?
I got Netter some Peeps.
No, I meant when you were a kid watching the 10 Commandments.
Oh, sure. When I was a kid. Oh, gosh, and some of the chocolate I would eat would just turn my stomach, but I'd never say no to it. Some of it was the cheap stuff. But it was tradition, right? Those marshmallow eggs and the malted eggs, the little, they look like little robin's eggs and whatnot.
The Whoppers, they were like the Whoppers.
They were like
right?
Whoppers, but they were shaped like eggs, exactly.
And they still make those. You can get those.
Sure, they do.
I saw them last year.
I'd get jelly beans that I hated. I never liked jelly beans.
You know what kills me? Starburst now makes jelly beans, and their jelly beans are pretty good.
Yeah. And Jelly Belly jelly beans are good.
And Jelly Belly jelly beans.
But those cheap waxy ones, I can't stand those things. You know the ones that I mean, the bigger ones that they all taste exactly the same, and then they got that goop in the middle. I can't stand that stuff.
No, my mom likes the licorice flavored ones, so she always brought those up. And you can't find those anywhere anymore. They don't sell them. Oh, Trooper FN 2525. You're discussing 10 Commandments. You got to talk about Ann Baxter. That's the sacred feminine. Is that Moses' wife in that? I think so, right? You there, Troy?
I was just looking her up to remember. Yeah,
okay.
I'm vaguely remembering who she. Oh, hello.
Okay.
This isn't the 10 Commandments either. I don't want to get you off on another tangent.
Okay. Anyways, what were we talking about, though? We're talking about jelly beans, 10 Commandments. This is what I get for not discussing the good old days before the stream. I thought, hey, we could talk about the 10 Commandments. And I was into Indiana Jones at the time, so seeing Egypt again was neat,
Yeah.
And I was waiting to see mummies, but we didn't see any mummies in that movie. But we
I mean, it's kind of out of scope, isn't it? I mean, if you think about it.
Challenge accepted. I will find licorice. Oh, thank you, Ned. No, don't go to any trouble on my part, though. But thank you. Oh, give me a Reese's egg any day. Yeah, I think Easter candy's improved over the years. I will say that.
They didn't have Reese's eggs when I was a kid. I was around when they introduced the Cadbury eggs, though. I remember those when they first came
the Cadbury cream eggs, and then also the little chocolate ones with the shells,
which I didn't like as much. I ate them, but they weren't. I really liked that the Cadbury creams.
It's like you're getting a real egg, except it's made like candy. It's like the Willy Wonka version of an egg. It's like
right, exactly.
I really liked. I actually liked what they did with M&Ms years ago when they started bringing out M&Ms in pastel colors, and I'm like, why can't we have pastel colored M&Ms all year round? Okay,
because then it wouldn't be special.
But I like the look of them.
You need Christmas colors at Christmas. You need pastels.
Yeah, I don't care.
For Easter.
You see Christmas
Halloween
candy
colors in the fall.
Halloween I like, but I think Easter candy, especially in recent years, that's the best candy.
Dude, I'm just glad we got the red ones back for F's sake. I was so bummed when they took red ones away for the longest time. I'm like, I miss my red ones. Now you can't get tan ones anymore.
I remember the tan ones. I kept thinking I'd imagined that, and that they did exist. Okay.
Can I say that M&Ms are being racist because they got rid of the tan ones?
Well, they got rid of the red ones, and what was the reason behind that? They said the red dye caused cancer. I think that's what it was. Yeah. Wasn't there some scare about the red dye they used, so they stopped bringing them out for a while? I remembered that, yeah. Didn't that turn out to be BS anyway?
Who knows? Usually with those things, it's you have to. They would feed it to rats. It's all they would feed them, and they would feed them in quantities where you'd have to eat truckloads of it a day to have as much as they had.
Yes. Oh, I'm getting people yelling. Okay. What do you mean you can get jelly beans on Amazon and nuts to you? What? That?
I don't think she meant and nuts to you like nuts to you. I think she was saying you can get them sent to you. Nuts can be sent to you from Amazon.
Oh, I see. Okay, never mind.
Not
okay.
nuts to you, you know.
Okay, for refuse. Okay, well, okay. Isn't your birthday this month? It's next month.
No, that's the name of the company.
Oh, Nuts to You is the name of the company.
Nuts to you is the. Oh, thank you, Nanette. I apologize. Okay. Anyway, what was I? See, this is what I hate. This is what I hate about the internet. Okay, you misinterpret things.
Yes,
and I think
in
too,
writing because there is no tone there. Well, I'll tell you. You also need to use commas, people. They're your friends. Make sure you use them because there is no tone, and the best you can do is use good punctuation.
I remember I think it was a quote from Oscar Wilde, and he would say, I spent half the morning deciding to put a comma into the sentence and the other half deciding to take it out again. You know?
All I know is what Oscar Mayer said. My baloney has a first name. It's Oscar.
Well, there you go. Anyway.
No alcohol tonight, folks. This is how I am normally.
Yes. I get weird if I take an allergy pill, but I didn't take one tonight. Anyway, I think I've rambled on enough about the 10 Commandments. Any last words on the matter? On Easter, anything?
Those 10 Commandments are good rules to live by.
They are.
So are those amendments in the Constitution that they're trying to get rid of too.
Yes,
so
those
let's
too.
Just,
And there's a reason why actually the 10 Commandments are in a lot of the courts because they were like.
I don't see anyone trying to take the Code of Hammurabi out of the courtrooms.
Well, that might be a topic for another time. That's interesting, though. I used to love Skittles. They're too over-processed for my palate now. Oh, that's interesting. That can happen. Taste can change.
You know what happens when you mix in a bowl Skittles and M&Ms? You get S&Ms.
I don't think I was a huge Skittle fan, but I don't know. Anyway, well, okay, we have topics to talk about tonight.
We have some topics. We've gone for 2 weeks not talking about geeky
anything.
News.
So we may broach Indiana Jones at some point, or we may not. I haven't decided yet. Okay.
We definitely have some streaming news.
I got the first article. I'll do the link. Netflix has landed the streaming rights to Sony's future Spider-Man movies and franchises like Jumanji.
Yep. Midnight's Edge did they always do great breakdowns on this kind of stuff. And this one I found kind of interesting because there's still this whole dichotomy in that the movie rights to Spider-Man are still held over at Sony. And Marvel does not own him outright. But what they do own is the more valuable portion of him, and that's the marketing rights. All the toys go to Marvel and Disney. Did you know that?
Really? The toys for Spider-Man go to Marvel and Disney?
Yep.
That's
so
why
basically Sony has to make a good, profitable film to make any money off of it.
What about games, though? Because I noticed that there was a Spider-Man game exclusive to the Sony PlayStation. Do they also have to go through Disney for that, or do they also own gaming rights to it?
I don't know specifically.
They might have to pay Disney for that. I didn't think about that.
I was going to say my gut instinct is that games would fall under marketing just like any other toys or lunchboxes or any of that kind of stuff. But I don't know specifically, so don't hold me to that.
Yeah, this is from Business Insider. Sony, without its own streaming platform, has found home for its movie library. The studio and Netflix announced on Thursday a 5-year agreement that gives Netflix domestic streaming rights to Sony's theatrical releases beginning with its 2022 lineup. The movies would begin streaming after their theatrical and home entertainment windows. Netflix will also license select older movies from Sony's library. I was thinking if they were to get access to the whole Columbia Pictures library,
yeah,
that would be quite a boon, actually, because Sony, we take it for granted, but they've released a lot of movies over the year because we think Sony, we don't think Columbia Pictures or whatever else they
That's
own right now. Yeah.
The other thing is, I noticed that this is tangentially related to this. I noticed that Disney Plus has started putting out like the 90s Spider-Man and apparently some other Marvel cartoons that had never been previously released. And people are kind of crossing their fingers and going, well, when are we going to get the old, 69 Spider-Man cartoon and the 60s Marvel superheroes cartoons?
Yes.
And the one that most of us fans really, really want, the freaking Nicholas Hammond Spider-Man.
Nicholas Hammond Spider-Man?
You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Nicholas Hammond, the little kid from the Sound of Music.
The live action one.
Live action Spider-Man, yeah.
I'd never seen that one. I'd heard about it, but I know that they had made it because I saw pictures of it. But I think that was before my time. Yeah.
I somehow managed to watch, if not all, at least most episodes of it. The problem with that show was when it aired in the 70s, it didn't air in a regular time slot, and they didn't advertise it in any kind of meaningful way. The expectation was if you were watching whatever their popular show on CBS was, you might catch it as the follow-up, and they were hoping to get good ratings for it. And shockingly, it didn't work. It was just one of those stories of terrible marketing and CBS not knowing how to manage their properties. But that was my live action Spider-Man when I was a kid. So yeah.
I'm curious, how comic accurate was it? Did he fight like Dr. Octopus or the Green Goblin, or did he?
No, because they did not have the budget for that. However, it was more comic accurate, I would argue, than the Incredible Hulk series.
Okay. Was J. Jonah Jameson on it at least?
J. Jonah Jameson was in it. In the pilot episode, he was played by the boss from Bewitched. What's his name? Come on, Allie. I know you're in the stream. You're going to tell us. He was Darren's boss from Bewitched.
Oh, okay.
Larry Tate.
Yeah.
Larry Tate. Okay.
Yeah, whatever the actor's name is. He played J. Jonah Jameson, and then he had a nervous breakdown. So when they went into full series, they recast him, and the tone of the character changed 3 times over the course of the series. But by and large, he was pretty good. They had like a Betty Brant stand-in type character. Aunt May was in the pilot, but she didn't continue on through the rest of the series. But then again, they focused on him in college rather than in high school. So,
but they kind of did that with the Raimi movies. He's in senior year of high school, and then they go right into college.
Yeah.
Auditor Dread says, according to Half Glass Gaming, Disney owns the gaming rights for Spider-Man, but they most likely have a deal between Disney and Sony when it comes to gaming, because Disney doesn't really do gaming. So
exactly. I mean, look at what happened to Lucasfilm.
They used to have their own gaming line because they were doing that Toys to Life thing, the Disney Infinity thing, where they used to buy little figures and you put the figure down, you could play as that character in the game.
Don't even get me started. Disney is so freaking mismanaged. Every property they have, it's like I don't think
everybody liked it.
They could not do a worse job if they purposely were going out of. They would need to go out and produce Springtime for Hitler to do any worse. Honestly, that's how bad these guys are doing. It's like the producers in real freaking life.
Oh, man, though. But yeah, according to this, though, the deal includes future Sony Spider movies and other titles that are part of Sony's universe of Marvel characters like Morbius. Oh, that could cause confusion. Could they technically do Netflix original series, like set in their Spider-Man, whatever it is, like the Venom universe, whatever they're calling it?
I hadn't thought about that.
Could they do a Kraven the Hunter series or something?
I would not put it past Netflix to do that, just to
Silver Sable, the series,
just to say screw you to Disney after what Disney did to them with, Iron Fist and Power. What is it? Power Fist and Iron? whoever those jamokes are.
It's Power Man and Iron Fist. Though
Yeah,
they just
those
call
guys.
him Luke Cage. I believe Luke Cage in the comics was called Power Man, but we
That's
just call
what
him
it
Luke
was.
Cage now.
That's what it was.
Which I like because
and
it's
Jessica Jones. Okay, I know Jessica Jones. Okay,
and
the blind lawyer guy.
Daredevil. Anyway, Wolf 10 Media says they will never earn my forgiveness due to them shutting down LucasArts. That was a big mistake. They should have been building that up. You got a game studio with the purchase of Lucasfilm.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
And a respected game studio in the community. It's like you could have them do Disney properties too. You could have them do Marvel games.
They destroyed LucasArts and they gave it all to frickin' EA.
Yeah, now they're sending it out to whoever wants it now. So I know Ubisoft is supposedly working on a game. I think there's even an Indiana Jones game in development.
I'm waiting for the Google Play Store game where you gotta buy gems in order to talk to Yoda or some crap like that.
They'll collect the gems and they'll say, Padawan, not enough are these, or something like that.
Exactly,
That's
right.
The worst Yoda imitation, but
of course, if you were female, there'd be enough.
Let's not go there anyway. Anyway, what were we talking about? Spider-Man. Anyway, looks like Sony has entered the streaming wars. I mean, I have my own issues with Sony, but it looks like they're being smart because they're saying, you know what? Why get into the fight when we can just go with?
I think you're right about
Netflix.
That Columbia thing. They could absolutely be the silent, company that's going to come up from behind. While all the big guys are tearing themselves down, making stupid decisions, they're just going to quietly license out their stuff, go through network.
They
with
could
Netflix,
make a ton of money off of this while Warner Brothers is bleeding. Think about that.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. I'm not saying I expect that, but it could happen, and I would laugh. I would absolutely laugh. This next piece I found kind of interesting.
This is fascinating to me. I don't know. I don't think I sent this to you. You sent this to me, right?
No, I did.
This was interesting. Yeah.
This is actor Zach Avery. I don't even know who this guy is. Arrested in $227 million Ponzi scheme case involving fake HBO Netflix deals. Now, if I'm understanding this correctly, they're calling it a Ponzi scheme. But it seems to boil down to, for me, an elaborate building up of his resume. Lying on his resume, so to speak, is how I'm reading it. Trying to get a deal and saying, look, I've got a deal coming from Netflix. You want to work with me? You want to sign me up? You want to, I'm valuable. I'm a commodity. I'm an actor, hire me.
Right.
That's what it sounds like to me. Basically, an elaborate, buffing up his CV, lying on his resume, so to speak. But if you get people to sign contracts with you based on a lie, I suppose, that's fraud.
I mean, it says his film credits are Zach Avery, include 2021's The Devil Below. Do you know what that is?
Nope.
2020's You're Not Alone.
Never heard of it.
2017 sci-fi thriller Curvature.
Never heard of it.
These are things I want to say when you tell, I've heard of that movie. I saw that. Cool. And I'm like, did I see that? Was that on Netflix or something?
None of these things sound familiar to me. I don't even know this name, Zach Avery. I mean, Avery, I think of the cartoonist,
Or Avery Brooks, from
or
Deep
Avery
Space Nine
Brooks
or something.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't know who Zach Avery is.
Oh, he was accused of fabricating emails from HBO and Netflix executives about fake film distribution deals in order to stave off demands for payments to investors, according to a criminal complaint filed Monday in the United States District Court. Okay.
I see. Yeah. Okay. That makes more sense. Yeah. Horizon Talker is kind of giving us the skinny on it. Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like Floating Alone, right? He's, but I'll tell you, this kind of tells you indirectly, this gives you a little peek through the keyhole. This shows you how actors are looking these days, right? Now, it's not enough to say, hey, look at all these big movies that I've been in. I'm a big Hollywood star. Now it's, hey, look at what streaming service signed me up. I'm a big star. See, that's kind of an indicator of the change of the winds for Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm wondering now if being an actor is as glamorous as it used to be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Especially...
it's clearly, and we've been saying this for a while, it's clearly not. The days of these multi-million-dollar deals for billion-dollar expected box office revenue are done. Until they open up the theaters, it's not going to happen. And at this point, it's time for the SJWs to start picking their sides. Okay, because if you're going to be the Hollywood elite and you want to stay elite, sipping your champagne in your Hollywood mansions, then you need to start fighting back against the people that are trying to close up this country and keep the theaters closed and destroy them. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, especially now that they're...
Otherwise, you're going to start looking at, you know what? You're going to make $1 million at the high end for a movie because there is no expectation of making billion-dollar films anymore. You're going to be getting $1 million if you're like a Robert De Niro, right? Or something like that, or a Jack Nicholson. Okay.
Or a Harrison Ford.
Everyone else is going to be in the thousands.
You know who still makes money though, and this is what's killing me. Brie Larson is still making money because she's on TV everywhere. She's on commercials. I keep seeing her on commercials, and you know that pays.
But she's making money from companies that are losing money on her because they're not bringing in the revenue. They're just not. Nobody gives a flying F about her scrawny ass.
Yeah. Or, hey, look at how many skeletons will fall out of my closet. Me being open about all those skeletons. That's Wolfton says that.
Right.
Oh, man. Though I have to tell you, though, this is bad. Horowitz, the FBI, says owes investors $227 million in principal alone, is alleged to have used much of the proceeds for the fake company toward personal income. Yeah,
this kind of goes to what we're talking about, right? They believe that they should be living this kind of lifestyle because they're Hollywood stars, but it's like those days are done, folks. They really are. And any actor worth his salt has always known you live a meager lifestyle. You can go to the big parties and mooch off your friends, but you live in a normal house in a normal neighborhood. You keep your head down. You know who I think of who's intelligent when it comes to their money in Hollywood? I think of Mira Kunis and
Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher, right? Those two, they know what they're doing. They live like middle-class people, Yeah,
because you never know when the next job's going to come from. Okay?
Exactly. And most of their money is in investments. They just recently bought a whiskey, distillery and have this big business going with that and whatnot. And it's like,
so invest. That's what Shatner did.
Yep.
He did. It's funny because I remember he was having a fight with one of his ex-wives over percentages of his, I think it was bull semen.
Oh my gosh! Well,
I'm not kidding you here.
It's a commodity, right? I mean, people need to breed them, so sure. Why not?
I thought I was shocked, and I'm like, well, apparently that's worth a lot of money. I guess that makes sense, but it's like, oh my goodness!
See, I would tell my ex-wife, you know what? I'll give you 50% of the profits if you start going and extracting it yourself.
Oh man, why'd you go there? Now I got to click the not for kids. I'm kidding.
You should do that anyway, dude.
Whatever.
With the language on this channel.
All right. Anyway, though, but should we move on to our next story?
Boomer's got a potty mouth, people. No.
Well, I'm fine.
I know. I'm joking. I'm the one.
Only where Deborah Paget's concerned. I'm going to shut up. Okay.
Whoa, that is him. That wasn't me.
I'm just kidding. Anyway.
I need to wash your mouth out with soap.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh, man. That happened to me when I was a kid. Oh, I was in a strict no cussing household. Oh man, that was I think I did it once, and like, no, you gotta put the soap in your mouth. I think I got that. Okay,
So there weren't any long philosophical discussions about bull semen.
No. Anyway.
And you're going, but Ma, it would be a great investment.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we're moving on to happier subjects now. Okay.
Sort
Star
of.
Wars. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Star Wars continues to scrape
the bottom of the barrel, insulting Luke Skywalker and Han Solo again. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I love bounding into comics. I really do. But I feel this is still a little clickbaity. I think they're putting a little too much in it. I understand the sensitivity, okay, because these characters have been crapped on so much in the Disney era. But come on. It is very clear what this is meant to be. This is a book that is written from the point of view of a villain. Okay, so the villain is the one who is basically writing the dramatis personae for the characters, and so when she's belittling the hero characters, that's because she sees herself as the heroes, and these guys are the villains.
But I don't know what this is either. But I don't know. Just hearing what they say. Yellowhead rebel humanoid who was supposedly important for some reason. She says stuff like that. I don't know. So you're thinking maybe this is overblown?
No, it's absolutely very clear from going to, not that I would buy the book, but I did read the CV and the breakdown of it. The CV, not CV, the dramatis personae is written from the point of view of the protagonist, which is this Dr. Aphra. Okay, she is a villain character. She is one of Vader's hench people. And she is being purposely disparaging of the hero characters, and she is being a little bit overly positive of like Darth Vader.
Here, I have to say this. I'm sorry. He blew up the Death Star and Han helped with that, okay? You have to actually take them seriously at that point. I don't care what kind of
that's something that some people have pointed out, because even if you go into the comic books that she comes from, there's her first encounter with Han Solo, he freaking captured her. Hello. If you're gonna, be derogatory to him, what does that say about you being captured by him?
It does bring up a point, though, of how much attention I actually want to be even spending on the High Republic going forward, though.
Yeah,
because I'm starting to wonder if they're just at this point trying to needle the fans, so we talk about it on streams to give it any kind of
and nobody really knows anything about this Dr. Aphra character, except at this point, if this was Mecha Random, we would go to her meme of the giggity doo doo doot and two girls kissing, right? Because that's all this character is.
Okay. So I don't know. It's just
this
Star Wars books.
I get it. I understand people being annoyed by this, but I'll tell you something else. This is kind of a positive, in my opinion. It goes a long way towards Kathleen Kennedy dumped the entire EU, and now she's trying to get people to read her High Republic. Sorry. That ship sailed as soon as you got rid of the EU, because now you've already established books and comic books and all that is non-canon. We're never going to, buy into, but these books now, these are canon. Yeah, that's what we said about these 20 years ago. So, you're a moron.
Canon is so confusing now. What is and isn't canon, because is a book set
it's not
like prior to the prequels or during the prequel era. Is that still canon because it doesn't interfere with the Disney thing?
Canon for fandoms is as simple as biological gender. It really is. It doesn't have to be difficult. Stupid people have to make it difficult and go through mental gymnastics to make it challenging. If you would just accept the fact that, I'm sorry, once a book is published, once a fandom becomes a fandom, the fandom decides what is canon. Okay? And that's really what it boils down to. Oh. And I don't care if you're the IP holder, you have the legal right to publish what you want and not publish what you don't want, but the fans are going to decide what is and is not canon. It's just that simple. That's how canon works. That's how it works in religion. That's how it works in fandoms.
Oh, we're going to revisit this when we talk about Star Trek in a bit, too.
Yes, we will.
Yeah. Here's another one. Twitter adds sensitive media warning to Gina Carano's account to protect users from violent, hateful, or adult content. This is just being spiteful and nasty.
And this is, look, we all know the stats out there. The vast majority of people that actually have seen what Gina has put out know that this is all BS. And so the more that they do this kind of stuff, the stupider they look, and the more petty and incredulous they seem. You know, people are looking at Twitter and going, "We see your bias very, very clearly." You know, so don't think you're winning any points with anybody here.
Okay,
it's hysterical. But yeah, that's what happened, and I don't really see much reason to talk too much about it. She's going to keep posting, and people are going to, you know, invent reasons to be offended by what she says. But I'm sorry, you really have to do mental gymnastics to be offended.
She should come to MeWe. She should come to MeWe.
Well, she's got an account on Parler, but she hasn't come back since Parler came back. See, I think a lot of people don't realize Parler's back.
Yeah, I think a lot of people didn't realize that. I keep thinking, oh, it is back. Yeah, I don't
really use Parler because I never really used Twitter either.
I didn't really use Twitter either, and right now I'm just basically powering it down. I'm not deleting my account only because I don't want someone else popping on there as me. Of course, Lord knows how many aged boomers there were before me. Sometimes you find. Didn't you say there was someone else with a similar name on Rumble? So.
Well, I don't remember if I said Rumble, but I know there was at least 2 on YouTube.
Oh, whatever.
Well, you were the one who pointed to me that there's another Geeky Geezers out there.
They haven't posted in 4 years.
I know, but it was funny
start
when you
something?
It out to me.
No, I don't know anything about those guys. I don't want to.
And I also looked at how many followers they have. We have like 8 times the followers they do, and we don't have that many followers.
Yeah, they gave it a few years ago. That can happen, you know. Anyway, but anyway, we're going to be talking.
Maybe they were more geezers than we realized. Maybe they're not even with us anymore. I hope that's not the case. But you never know.
Not that I'm trying to throw shade.
No, not at all.
Unless you make me. Okay, I'm just saying. Don't start anything with me, you guys.
That's right.
We're the new. Actually, you know what? If we ever get a complaint and like a copyright thing, we'll just change our name to the new Geeky Geezers. Okay,
the real Geeky Geezers.
And then if somebody else is the new Geeky, we'll say the new Geeky Geezers.
Right.
There you go. It's like,
the new old original Geeky Geezers.
That was a not joke in Spinal Tap, right? We were the originals, but then somebody else was the original, so we called ourselves the new originals. And then they fell apart. And we thought about going back to the regular originals. Like, what's the point? And then it was
exactly.
Okay, Star Trek Picard Season 2 trailer. You were equating this with the High Republic story, like something not even worth talking about. I think it is. Let's talk about Picard Season 2.
Okay, first off, we haven't gotten anything except the inference that
we got a trailer.
Yeah, we got a trailer.
We got a teaser.
Barely a teaser that alludes to Q now being, being included. Now, one could get tempted to get excited and say, oh, maybe Q's going to come and he's going to snap his fingers and he's going to set everything back. But keep in mind, this is still, the same people that did the previous Picard and they did Discovery and, they're an offshoot from the guys that brought us JJ Trek. So what do you think the chances are that they're going to bring Q in to just fix everything?
To fix everything, probably 0, unless it'd be like a season ender thing to tease us to want to watch a third season.
What's going to happen is they're going to bring Q in to say, look at what's become of you, Picard. It's because you're a white male. I don't know why I chose to appear as a white male. I should.
Well, no, he's no longer. He's no longer a white male. He's actually anyone who was interested in watching Picard, leave now because I'm going to spoil the big shocking ending.
That is not the spoiler. The spoiler that it exists.
No,
that is the spoiler.
Picard is now dead, and now there's an android Picard that has now replaced him. That accent feels and will die at the same rate he would have died if he didn't have this disease that was going to kill him off, which they didn't really need to write into the show because now they made Picard an android, but he has nothing special about being an android, or so we think. It's
And
the
even-
most asinine thing.
And even
they could have
Data,
ended with.
even Data decided he didn't want to live anymore. So just make sure I don't come back because, he wanted to Harrison Ford himself. Seriously. He didn't want to be a part of this crap, but they
can bring him back
him.
as the long lost son of Noonie and Soon, who
Oh,
showed up on the show. He didn't have any sons. Okay, I'm fine. What's continuity? What's canon? Okay.
This is the problem. These writers say, well, it's fiction. We can do whatever we want. No, there are still rules in writing, you dumbass.
Anyway, let me read from this article because you're obviously not on board. I'm gonna sell you on this, okay?
Oh, sure you are. Go for it.
Below is a look at the return of the character-driven Paramount Plus sci-fi series starring Patrick Stewart as Jean-Luc Picard. It's character-driven is that it makes me feel depressed for all the characters on the show, and I wish they were on a normal Star Trek series. Okay, that's the difference between Picard and Discovery. I don't like anyone on Discovery. On Picard, I actually feel bad for the characters, whereas I could see them on a normal Star Trek series.
Yeah,
I could see them like if. Not addicted to drugs or fighting depression after seeing your captain blow his head off with a phaser and all the stuff that doesn't belong in Star Trek.
Commit genocide because you're forced to kill your adopted son, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I'm just of course, yes, forced to kill your adopted son.
Yeah, each other.
Oh my goodness! No, that wasn't her that did it. That was a whole other thing. That wasn't 7 of 9. She was to put him out of his misery. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Oh no, that was
a horrible storyline. That kind of storyline does not belong in Star Trek. That is not Star Trek. That is anti-Trek. That's the
like
mirror universe Trek.
That'd be something more along the lines of maybe even the Alien universe, but that's still rough even for that. It's like or never mind. Anyway.
And they're trying to claim, but no, this is a positive universe. Well,
no, it's
maybe
not.
If you live in hell, this is considered positive. I don't know what the frick is going on in your life that you consider this positive.
Anyway, it's going to change though. I'm hopeful. Okay, quiet you. Okay. The trailer teases the revival of a major fan favorite character in the Trek franchise, Q, played by actor John Delancey. Yeah. Who surprised fans with an appearance at the First Contact Day virtual event Monday, April 5th. Q is an extra-dimensional being who can manipulate space, time, and reality. He was first introduced in Star Trek The Next Generation as a devious jokester who was amused to test Picard with ethical quandaries. He played a key role in both the syndicated show's pilot and its final episodes. The character appeared on Star Trek Voyager as well. That's a good summary. You got everything right there. Okay, I have to give the reporters some credit. True. Okay, oftentimes they don't know what they're talking about.
And I will also say that just on a personal level, John Delancey, great guy to meet in person. I had a great experience at a con that the con itself wasn't all that great, but the stars really went out of their way to ingratiate themselves to their fans. I sat with him after hours and he just did an impromptu question and answer session. Just sat in the bleacher seats with everyone else around him and just took questions.
Actors run the gamut. Okay.
Yeah.
I had a friend that worked on a movie with it starred Matthew Perry and Bruce Campbell was also in it. He said Matthew Perry was terrible. Of course, I think at that point he was on the drugs. Mm-hmm. But Bruce Campbell was also showed up on set. Bruce Campbell got along perfectly well with the crew. He was a laugh riot. He made everybody happy. He was he was a down to earth guy, but also very funny. Everybody loved him. Okay. So that makes sense for Bruce, we just based on what I've seen of him.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, so John Delancey, nothing against him. He's great.
So the trailer voiceover teases that time travel might be a factor in the season. Time offers so many opportunities, but never second chances. It offers so many cheap cop-outs like in movies like Endgame. Anyway, I'm sorry. Picard intones followed by the reveal of Q on a playing card, because it was a Queen card, and Q saying the voiceover, the trial never ends, and laughing, I guess kind of like the Emperor did at the end of that Rise of Skywalker trailer. Anyway,
I
okay.
guess.
Okay. I am going to say this. Finally, I'm delighted, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm more than ready to Delancey added. I've aged a little bit to be more in keeping with where we are right now. I'm not sure what that means. I'm here to make your life as annoying as possible. He is deliciously naughty and terribly self-involved. So as my wife says, it's not much of a stretch. That's funny. See, he's already funny being quite here. I'd love to see just a Q series of just him messing with people throughout, like, it'd be fun if he would show up like in Human History and just mess with like Shakespeare.
There has been some great,
like,
there has been some great stories where it was supposed that Q and the Squire of Gothos were of the same continuum. And there's actually a comic book story that they used the crew of the Enterprise D and the crew of the original Enterprise. They set them against each other like chess pieces.
Interesting.
And Picard and Kirk were like, wait a minute. If you guys want to work something out, why aren't you doing it yourselves? And they both said, that's brilliant. And all of a sudden they snapped their fingers. And Trelane was in Kirk's uniform with the phaser rifle, from Where No Man Has Gone Before. And Q was in Picard's jacket with a hand phaser. And they were about to go at it themselves. And they were like, funny. and the captain's like, we're out.
And they could have played the dun 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 dun.
Exactly.
Dun.
You could almost imagine it in your head, right?
Oh, actually, get this. The production also announced another fan favorite actor, Brent Spiner, will appear in the new season, despite his character perishing in season 2. Yes, but he's going to play Noonien Soon's long lost son. Or maybe he'll play Lore. They can bring Lore back. Never mind. They'll ruin.
My biggest problem is all the people they should have brought back, they refuse to bring back because they don't want to pay royalties to the writers that created these characters. Because the characters that they did bring back, they're getting sued for not giving royalties for using those characters. People deserve residual checks.
Yeah.
These people are so freaking corrupt.
Oh, Q is like Mr. Mixo Spitlick or Batmite. Yep.
I like it. That's a great analogy.
He is like them, yeah. Oh, Q is a surprisingly divisive Trek character. Overall, I like him. I understand why people find him annoying because he's supposed to be annoying. Okay, he shows up on the show, but he's a great. He's Picard's greatest adversary in some ways.
He is, but if you really look beneath the surface, if you really dig into the story, he's really helping him. I love. There's in the last episode of Trek, he says something to the. I can't remember if it was the last episode of Trek or if it was in the episode Tapestry. Either way, Picard learns a very valuable lesson, and it really changes his. I think maybe it was Tapestry, where he realizes that if he had taken the safe route when he was a young man, his life would have been very different, but it would have been a life not worth living. He would rather die the man that he was than live as the man he became when Q allowed him to change that one thing in his life. And so he says, put it back, Q, the way it was. And he goes, you realize you could die. And that's when he says, I'd rather die the man that I was than live as what I see myself here. He goes, okay, so be it. And he does. And it just so happens that he does end up surviving the surgery. And he thanks Q. He says, thank you, for
that was like the It's the Wonderful Life episode.
Exactly.
Of TNG,
exactly. That was brilliant. That was great writing. There were some really good, very poignant episodes. There's nothing like that in this modern Discovery Picard, bad reboot era. There is nothing like that. There are no writers doing stuff like that. And for crying out loud, all the writers that did do that kind of stuff, who created characters, they're not even making their residuals when those characters get, bastardized in these new versions of Trek.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. That's why, you're talking about what is canon. Everybody who's a fan of Star Trek has pretty much freaking walked away from it. Okay. And as far as we're concerned, our canon is everything up through Enterprise, and now the fan films. The fans are doing the best work now. You know,
We're going to get to that. Yeah.
I'm telling you, if you guys have not checked out Prelude to Axanar, that is what should have been Discovery, and we never got, because they shut that crap down because it was just too damn good.
You know what I don't understand? I'm watching these Axanar videos you shared with me, and I'm watching these, and I'm thinking, this is a fan film that feels more like the official Star Trek.
Yep.
The official Star Trek feels more like a fan film.
Yes.
That's what's so bizarre about the whole thing. It's like everything's flipped.
Yep. It's flipping ridiculous. And, you know, well, here's the other thing too. You know, people will say, well, you can't do, you know, something that's pre-Kirk era and have it look like it did back then, because that looks stupid. You got to change the look. And I'm like, no, you don't. Look at Axanar. Axanar found a way to make it look modern, but still honor the style of the original.
Let me see if I can drop a link to it in the chat. Hold
Enterprise did the In a Mirror Darkly, where we get to see, what was it, the Constitution or whatever that came into the past from the future, and you know, they're seeing all of the basically it's a ship that doesn't exist yet in their time. It's a Constitution class vessel. And they put on the uniforms from that. And it's like, it didn't seem out of place at all. It worked, because you know that's what they were leading up to, and you're okay with it. They did it in Next Gen 2. They did it in Deep Space Nine. They always revisited the classic bridge, the classic uniforms. They did time travel episodes. It was never an issue. It only became an issue because these arrogant assholes decided, well, no, we got to do something different because it's ours now, and it's fiction, so we can do whatever we want. No, screw you, you assholes.
Oh, Mr. Messick has a point. What about the other Star Trek love letters like the Orville?
Well, it's funny you say that. We haven't gotten any details yet. There's only rumors starting, but there's been talk about a Galaxy Quest 2. It's there's been some movement in that regard. But you're absolutely right. Whether it's Galaxy Quest or the Orville, look, if we can't have Star Trek because the IP holders are morons, then we'll just make our own. Look, that's where Star Wars came from. Star Wars was created because Lucas couldn't get the rights to Flash Gordon. You know, I mean, there's all kinds of stories like that. You know what? Indiana Jones was done because they couldn't get the rights to something else, so they invented Indiana Jones. I don't even remember what it was. Maybe it was Alan Quartermain or something. I don't remember, but the rights were tied up, so they invented a new character. And you end up with these franchises. Quit effing around with them. If you're gonna make Star Trek, make frickin' Star Trek. If you don't want to make Star Trek, make your own frickin' thing.
They want to make their indie dramas and just stick it in a Star Trek universe where they have people complaining about estranged sons and having to murder your son.
My problem is the companies that let them do that, because they take a cash cow, they kill it, they butcher it, and nobody buys the meat.
Think about the conflict they did on TNG. It was Worf being raised by human parents and the complications there, as opposed to it being I hate you, Mom, like on Star Trek Picard, and I'm getting married and stay out of my life and all this, and I hate you, Ravi. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be seeing this on a Star Trek show.
Yeah.
Why can't she have a good relationship with her son? Okay, why does it have to go here? Or at least it's complicated in a way that isn't just, you were a bad mother. I don't want to see that on Star Trek.
The closest I ever saw them get was they did an episode of Voyager where the holographic doctor tried to create a holographic family for himself, but he had tweaked the program so much that it was like, WandaVision perfect. And B'Elanna's like, this is not reality. You're not experiencing life if you're like this. You need to let your family make their own decisions and have their own agency. And when he does that, he's got the son running around with Klingons and getting into trouble. And, I don't even remember what his daughter was dying or something like that, and he couldn't save her, and it was really brutal. And he ends up shutting down the program because he couldn't deal with it.
Right.
And B'Elanna's like, well, you pretty much learned how life is then, didn't you?
Yeah.
It's like, wow, you know.
But that's still.
But that's the closest they ever got, and you could just argue, well, but these were still, you know, constructs. They weren't real people.
Now, Melissa makes a comment here. I don't know if I want to bring it. Here you go.
Sure.
I'll bring it up. Okay. I used to like Star Trek till I found Star Trek is communist and anti-God. That is, that's what people lay on Star Trek. I don't see it that way though. Okay.
Yeah, she's referring to something that some of the outlets have been talking about. I guess one of the people in Star Trek was saying that the way you get to, you know, the world of Star Trek is you got to get rid of capitalism and embrace communism. And it's like, no, there is no way that Star Trek Federation is communist. It is post-scarcity, but it is post-scarcity in the way that only science fantasy can be. If you have replicators that can create food and nobody goes hungry, you have replicators that can create houses and there is no homelessness. When you have marvelous medical advances that can treat mental illness, okay, then you can start dealing with no money and, you know, and these kinds of things. But that is not achieved through communism. If anything, it's achieved through capitalism.
It's where we're supposed to be headed, hopefully, eventually through
in fact,
progress.
Even if you look at, you know, how did humans meet the first? How did they make first contact? They created a faster than light engine that got their attention. Why did Zephyr Cochrane do that? He's trying to make money. He actually says that in the movie. He was hoping that it would be his, you know, ticket to some sort of wealth.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Mr. Matstick says, well, weren't the Klingons originally supposed to be commies? I think they were supposed to be representative of the Soviet Union back in the 60s.
They were meant to be representative of the Soviet Union, but back then they were just the generic bad guys.
Yes.
They were just, the commies in inverted commas, like the bad guys, the other. They didn't flesh out their government in any way.
But even in the old show, you still got, on some level, some of the honor stuff poking through, even in the old episodes. It wasn't quite where it came later
because these were writers that wanted to make interesting characters.
Yeah.
They didn't want them to be so completely two-dimensional. You get to Next Generation, and they start fleshing out this, you know, Bushido-style Shogun Japan kind of thing, where you have an empire based on a feudal system, you know, clearly also not communist, you know.
Oh, and now Horizon Talkers bringing up the religion. The Federation had capitalism, but it's not looked at in a moral way like we do today. It was pretty condescending to religion outside of Deep Space Nine, and even Deep Space Nine did not handle the topic well. Here's what happened. I remember on the old Star Trek series, they didn't. I remember they went to one planet where the whole like it looked like they were doing the whole, like there was a Roman Empire and like basically sun worshippers. And it turns out they were worshiping the Son of God, not the Son. They were like,
and they did that on line, right?
Yeah, they did that on the old show. Then later on, it's difficult to say on TNG. Like it almost becomes like religion becomes the thing the alien races have, but not the humans. They just didn't broach the topic, though. I don't know if they wanted to declare a religion for humans. You know what I mean? I don't know.
From Gene Roddenberry's point of view, he was very much a secular humanist. He didn't want there to be any religion in the future, but that's just unrealistic. People aren't going to give up their religions. So what most writers embraced was a more ecumenical kind of, you know, c'est la vie. Some people are religious, some aren't. Humans have all different kinds of beliefs. I've talked about this with Klingons too. You know, you have one Klingon who says the Klingons killed their gods because they were too much trouble. Yet they still have a religious order. They have clerics. They, you know, believe in spiritual things. So, you know,
the Vulcans do.
Absolutely.
Which is the logic race, but they believe in the soul.
Yeah, the
That was
Katra.
brought that was brought up in Star Trek 3. Okay,
Exactly.
they go a lot
So,
into the Vulcan religion.
It's
so
really
even they have-
not.
yeah.
It's because anybody who understands humanity understands it's not that simple. You
Mhm.
know, and so yes, you absolutely. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to convince me that Uhura isn't Christian. Okay,
Now, as to what Picard is, that's a different story, right?
he celebrates Christmas.
Yeah, but he was doing stuff like, well, to be fair, they had a really bad. Of course, this was on Star Trek Picard where they had, "Do you believe in hell?" And he makes this stupid face. I'm like, "Oh, I want to smack you," you know. But he was also,
not, in fairness, not all Christians believe in hell.
well, anyway. But my point is that I always got the impression of the Ultra, like Data, I think, was asking about religion. Oh, I believe, and he brought up, I think, some weird Buddhist type thing. Like I never thought he took religion all that seriously.
Probably
as far as
not.
something
Yeah,
real.
it's very
a
clear
character.
that Picard is very much
Yeah.
what we would call today
or agnostic, maybe.
Well, I was
agnostic
going to
at
say
best, yeah.
he's more of a what do you call the people in the universities, overeducated people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Academic.
Yeah, he's got that academia mindset, right?
He's quoting Shakespeare. Oh, human beings will one day keep evolving and become perfect and all that, and you know, which I always thought Babylon 5 kind of like. Actually, no, Babylon 5 kind of took that on as well, but Babylon 5 was more spiritual.
I loved the way Babylon 5 dealt with it, where they were trying to do that religion day where you had a representative that was going to explain the religion of your world, and he was like, I don't know what to do. So he just brings them in and introduces them to a representative of all the major religions. This is, you know, Rabbi so-and-so, he's a Hasidic Jew, and here's Father, you know, O'Flannery, and he's a Roman Catholic.
All the representatives from all the earth religions. Yeah.
I love that. I thought that was brilliant.
And I think that's the way to handle that probably, because I don't know how we're going to be changing in the future. But anyway, though, but Picard is just, we were talking about Picard, weren't we?
Yep.
We
were starting to pivot towards Axanar and how this past week, it wasn't Axanar Studios. It was another fan group that dropped a fan film set in the Axanar continuity, so to speak, called Interlude. And it's meant to like kind of pick up where Prelude to Axanar left off. And they did it with the help of I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name of the bloke who's in charge of Axanar. Chris Peters or what's his name? Chris Peters, is it? I don't know. I forget the guy's name, but the guy who's playing Garth of Izar, he reprises that role in this film, and it was great. I mean, it was every bit as good in quality as Prelude to Axanar, and it's kind of Axanar's way of skirting around the rules that CBS has set up for fan films. They've been told they can do 2 15-minute features, and that's it.
You know, maybe if CBS would just be giving the fans something good, they wouldn't be making these fan films. Okay,
I agree with you,
and I like what I've seen. Yeah.
The problem goes all the way back to the beginning. They signed a contract with Bad Robot.
Oh no!
And
they can't get out of this.
They have an ironclad contract there, and those MFers are the ones that are in control now. And
how
that's
is
why
Bad Robot in charge of everything? I don't understand.
Because Hollywood is full of morons. They keep saying, "Oh, this guy did this show, and they were so good, and that made a lot of money." Let's
new people.
Nope.
They
are completely incapable of doing that. They look at bottom lines. They say this show did well. Let's give it to J.J. Abrams, not realizing that the fans can't stand the fucker because he can never finish anything.
Roy, you got mad there. You said the F word.
Are you shocked? No, I mean, really, it's seriously, I'm getting sick and tired of the mystery box. You're a one-hit pony. That is as stupid as M. Night Shyamalan and his twist ending. What the twist? No, No, nobody cares about your twist anymore. The twist is if you just tell a straight story.
To be fair, though, M. Night Shyamalan would only do it a couple of years, whereas Abrams like, oh, this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I argued at the time, though, at some point I said, I'd like M. Night Shyamalan to do a movie without the twist ending, though. I'm sure he has at this point, right?
He has. I mean,
yeah, okay.
It's a kind of a false impression. In fact, if anything, people are looking for the twist ending from him, and he's like, no, I'm just doing a movie. No twist here. It's just a movie. Oh, I don't want that. I was looking for, another Sixth Sense.
I think what it was, especially with the Sixth Sense, is that he was under a lot of pressure because he hit big success when he was young.
Yeah.
Okay. And then all of a sudden it's I have to keep repeating what made me successful, but you can't always write a good twist. Sometimes you just got to be straightforward. Yeah. Anyway, Lipa says, I like Hugh, but not him on Picard because I feel they will ruin the character just like they. You know what I wonder?
Just like every other character they put on Picard.
They could completely if they had some good writers. Is Chabon going to be back? Then we're not. They were out of luck. But if they could actually have a lot of fun with this and maybe fix all the problems with season 1. They won't do it. In fact, they probably will, and then they'll rip it away from us again.
Yeah.
You wanted your normal Star Trek series with Picard as an advisory member of the crew, and what's his name? I forget the Latin guy. Having him be the captain, and like Ravi could be the second in command, and just have it be a neat Star Trek show. I know you want that, but you're not going to get that because they'll mess.
And this is the problem. There's too many stupid fans out there that will just go, "Oh, okay, they're going to fix it now. They're putting Q into it." Right, like they were going to fix it when they brought Picard into it. Like they were going to fix it when they gave the Klingons hair. I'm sorry. They keep throwing you these bones and you keep going after it. But I, maybe I'm being unfair because I don't think the fans actually are going after it. Nobody is subscribing.
I don't think so. That's the that's the difference. I mean, they said there was that news story, Midnight's Edge, that shares had hadn't like got cut in half or something.
They've got nothing. They are hemorrhaging money. And
I know the woman in charge now, she's like, she put someone else and put Kurtzman aside. You're not doing Strange New Worlds, and she's putting someone else in charge of it. I don't know if that can fix it, but I think she understands something's wrong. Okay.
The Lucasfilm Star Wars is still making money on. There was even an article that I saw about they're trying to re-release EU stuff to try and make money, and all the toys that Hasbro is selling is either Mandalorian or classic stuff. None of the new stuff is selling, so at least they've got a revenue stream. Everything has dried up for Star Trek. Nobody is buying original stuff. Nobody is buying next gen stuff. Nobody is buying new stuff. Nobody is buying crap for Star Trek. And honestly, you go to look at what the licensing is out there. They got a few old timey type action figures, and they got shot glasses and pizza cutters. That's about it. Seriously. And that's the funny thing too.
You need shot glasses to be taking your shots to endure through the new Star Trek.
I have a whole line of barware all etched with Klingon symbols that I've gotten from fans. I don't need anything from CBS. All extortion. But let me tell you something. One of the rules for those fan films, you have to use licensed costumes. And I said, fine, show me a licensed Klingon uniform. Show it to me. I'll buy the damn thing. If for no other reason than just to be a Klingon collector. But there isn't one. So go F yourself.
They don't give... I don't think they understand what the fans want. I know they put someone else in charge now. We'll see if they figure it out.
I could do a whole show about marketing for Star Trek and how they've been effing it up from the beginning. They have never given the fans what they wanted and the things that would sell. They haven't. Anyway. Whether it's action figures, phasers, communicators, all of that stuff, none of that came out until many, many years after, when adults, were saying these are the things we want, and then Playmates started to put it out. Finally.
After all these years.
After all those years. And then it was all adults buying it. It wasn't the kids. You needed to get this crap out back in the 70s when the kids would have been, and what did they put out in the 70s? They put out the action figures just like everything else, and Spock's Mars Light helmet, because we all remember that from the original series.
Hey, you know what? Someone needs to write that in on Strange New Worlds. He'll be wearing the helmet, the new Spock.
They actually put it into the cartoon.
Okay, well, there you go. Okay, moving right along. We'll keep abreast of what's going on with Star Trek.
Yep.
In the future. It's actually interesting. I do find what's going on with Star Trek more interesting than the Star Wars stuff because it's such a train wreck.
It is.
But
there's nobody arguing that it's
But
not,
I think
really.
they know. TV critics, the types of people that would give the new Star Wars a pass they're not giving the new Star Wars. They're like, I don't want to watch this. No one likes it. Nope. So that's what's interesting about it. Nope. Okay.
Now we really are getting into a topic that is, as far as I'm concerned, good news.
You think so? I might have a different
it bothers me that they keep pushing it out and pushing it out. But to be honest with you, it makes it very clear that they're planning. Ghostbusters is coming out in the theaters. This is the only way it has a chance of making the kind of money it needs to make. And this could be the big blockbuster. This could be the big blockbuster.
Well, we're talking about the parks first.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true. This is a weird topic, because isn't this an overseas park?
Yeah, who you gonna call? Disney and Universal could be facing some more competition from another studio-backed theme park franchise. Sony is officially throwing its hat into the ring after announcing its plans to get into the theme park business over 3 decades ago. It's a rebranded water park in Thailand. So
in Thailand, right?
You're visiting Thailand.
Third cherry Coke, guys.
Yeah, be concerned. I'm on my 3rd cherry Coke.
Oh my goodness. Okay. The park will be developed. Okay, so I guess they're going to have stuff based on water coasters, based on Men in Black and Ghostbusters. Go-kart tracks based on Bad Boys for Life.
Bad Boys for Life. That one, I'm like, seriously?
And
this is working? Really?
Kids areas based on Hotel Transylvania, collided with the Transylvania.
That I can see. That makes sense.
I have to say, your licenses aren't quite what like the other studios have. I don't know.
True, like but I'll be honest.
Men in Black is kind of tired at this point. I don't know. I'm just
they could do some, but if you think about it from the point of view of a theme park, Ghostbusters, Men in Black, Hotel Transylvania, well, I could totally see those things being entertaining.
I'm
not so sure about Bad Boys too, but
Bad Boys for Life. Anyways, I did like the Ghostbusters attraction that used to be at Universal Studios Orlando. That was really neat. I don't know if you ever got a chance to see that in your lifetime. If not, I'll send you the Defunct Land. Okay, it was really neat.
See what?
There was a Ghostbusters themed attraction at one of the Universal Studios. Yes,
I saw the show. I was there in person. I was in the front row. I got slimed.
It was neat.
Yes.
And it started out like and I was at the one in Orlando, and instead of it being like the Northeastern EPA guy, it was more like a Southern sheriff type that comes over and says, "What are you doing with this machine?" Which I thought was funny because it's in the South, and that was the personality he had. And it's the same thing. Let's open up the containment unit, right? Because it starts out there showing everything to you, like you're on like the effects part. Oh, this is how we do this, but it's like the Ghostbusters showing everything to you, and then it's a funny part of the ride, and then you go into the sound stage, you sit down, and you see the big effects show with Gozer and all that. It's really neat. It was
really, really good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, you're right. I got to see if somebody has some footage of it.
I'll send a video to you later. Defunct Land has a great video on like defunct rides, and they have a thing on the Ghostbusters ride. Yeah. But maybe they'll figure out a way to bring that back since they do have a new movie coming out.
I sure hope so. I mean, but this is I'd have to go to Thailand to go to a water park that's themed for Ghostbusters.
I just don't know. I think maybe Sony take your cue from what you're doing with Netflix, license out stuff to like other theme parks like Universal Studios. I'm sure if this new Ghostbusters movie is a hit, they can do a no Ghostbusters attraction. They already have a Men in Black right there already, the alien attack. It was interesting. They had a I saw a video in the article. They had a Ghostbusters attraction, I think in Dubai. which was kind of neat. It reminded me of the Men in Black ride, except instead of shooting aliens, you're shooting ghosts with the gun, And it reminded me of that ride, and like you get to shoot the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man until he explodes, So that was kind of neat.
That's kind of funny.
But yeah, I don't know. It's Sony Clownfish TV. I watched their video. They made a bad joke. You're not going to get this unless you're a fan of if you know about video games. But they said, and they're going to have a Last of Us mini golf course.
I'm sorry, I was distracted by something over here.
Oh no, because Sony makes a video game called The Last of Us, and people were upset about the sequel because I know about that, you know about what happens to that character. Said they could have a Last of Us mini golf course because someone gets their head bashed in with a golf club so bad. Gosh. They did that joke.
Oh,
they did it better than me, but it was funny. I'm like, no. Anyways, I don't know about a Sony theme park. You want to do that overseas, fine. I think in the States, just license out to Universal for the time being. Because Universal looks like it's going to conquer Disney in the theme park, and they have a lot of good stuff coming out. But we have more Ghostbusters news.
Yes, we do. And as I was saying, yes, it does look like it's getting pushed out again. Take that for what it's worth.
November.
Yeah. And in a way, it's kind of a good thing, in my opinion, because, again, I want to see... Look, these movies that get dumped onto streaming services, that's a death knell for them. They are not going to make their money back. You need to see these. And I'm telling you, Netter and I are going to go see it in the theater. We're going to be in costume with our proton packs. Absolutely. We're going, and we'll go multiple times if it's good.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. But everybody's freaking out because we finally got some new footage.
You got a clip.
We got a clip, and it's a clip of little mini.
Want me to read from the article?
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick. Yeah. Sony Pictures offered yet another nibble of what to expect from the upcoming Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I see what they did there.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. In a newly released clip, we see actor Paul Rudd doing some grocery shopping when a bag of mini puff marshmallows goes all gremlins.
Yep.
Check out the brief sequence above. From director Jason Reitman and producer Ivan Reitman, the next chapter in the original Ghostbusters universe will feature a single mom and her two kids after they arrive in a small town. Soon the connection to the original Ghostbusters and their secret legacy their grandfather left behind become clear. And it's written by Jill Ken and Jason Reitman, is based on Ivan Reitman's 1984 from Ghostbusters. I'm keeping my fingers crossed on this one. I think people are freaking out about the scene. Why were they freaking out?
Okay, so it is kind of a bizarre scene, right? Because you got these little mini versions of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which are all cute, right? They're clearly trying to draw on the whole Grogu,
Baby Groot
kind of thing, right? Okay, I think that makes sense, right? If you're going to draw on success, that's where you do it, okay? But they turn out to be they're representatives of the Destructor, right? So he goes to touch one and it bites him, and then they're doing all kinds of things like they're making s'mores out of each other. It's
a very bizarre scene. The people are arguing it reminded them of something out of
and
Gremlins,
a lot of people are drawing the comparison to Gremlins, and I think rightly so. I think that's exactly the thing. I mean, if you think about Gremlins, where especially Gremlins 2, right, where the one Gremlin takes the acid, throws it on the other one, and he goes and then he takes out the half mask and he becomes the Phantom of the Opera.
Of course.
And what does he do? He laughs. They don't care if they get mutilated and burned, because all they have to do is pour water over themselves and they make more.
They're chaos. Yeah,
exactly. It's just chaos, and it's exactly the same thing here. These things are you're thinking too much about it. These aren't living creatures. These are ghostly incarnations of the Destructor.
Well, possibly, or it could be something else.
Well, it could be something else, but see, again, we're talking Ghostbusters lore here, and Dan Aykroyd has done a great job of keeping that lore pretty tight. And in the Ghostbusters 3 video game, they had mini marshmallow, minions, so to speak, of the Destructor, and the Destructor comes back, and there's the big one, and they're fighting the little ones on the ground, and they're like, well, didn't we already stop this guy? And he goes, one form per destructor per universe. So this is it. Once the destructor's form was chosen, that's how, if he's going to come back, that's how he has to come back.
So it could be following the game canon. I don't know if the game is going to be considered part of this canon. It could
Even
be.
if they don't literally follow the game canon, like those events may or may not have actually happened, I think the lore that Dan Aykroyd put into the game is definitely part of it, because he takes this stuff really seriously. He really believes this stuff.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, too, I'm going to say this. I understand why they want to have Stay Puft represented in some form, because he was a big, iconic thing in the first movie. They probably want
marketing. Exactly. They want to freaking make money.
But I want to make a point, though, that I used to have this, my brother used to have this Ghostbusters video game for the Sega Genesis. Mm-hmm. And what was neat about this video game is that it was a new storyline. It didn't follow the movie storyline, right?
Okay.
But of course, they wanted to have the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in that. So they actually had a different Stay Puft Marshmallow Man ghost. And his origin story is he was a person that was so obsessed with Stay Puft marshmallows, he ate so many of them that he died from eating all of them. You understand? And that's how he became, and that's why we have another Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And I could never tell if this is connected to the movie universe, if it's its own game universe thing that they were setting up here. But it was funny that they made up a new origin for why there's another Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in the game. It was clever little video game back in the day. I liked it, but yeah.
The other thing too is if you and again, I've really dug into this. So he's in the shop, right? And they got the mini marshmallows that are Stay Puft, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, Stay Puft is still a brand name in that universe.
Of course.
The fact that Stay Puft tried to destroy New York didn't hurt the brand, apparently. They even have Stay Puft marshmallow ice cream topping in that aisle.
Yeah.
It looks like there was a cereal for Stay Puft.
They mentioned the guy said, "What is this? Red velvet, blue velvet?" And I when I heard him say that, I thought the song "Blue Velvet" from that David Lynch movie popped in my head.
Oh, I didn't even make that connection.
I think that was supposed to be a reference, like he's laughing blue velvet. I think that was a reference to
that. Is funny. I didn't make that connection. You're absolutely right. But yeah, I mean that. I'll be honest with you. Everything I'm seeing here so far, I'm liking. If you're having a problem with some mini marshmallow creatures, skewering each other, roasting each other, and making s'mores with each other, keeping in mind that even as they're getting cooked, they're laughing and smiling. You're missing the point of these characters.
I have nothing for or against that scene. I think we're going to find out how it plays out in the bigger film. And I
think we live in a world where everybody, especially YouTubers, want to go out of their way to crap all over everything and say everything sucks because that's how they get their clicks on their videos.
Yeah. And I don't think nothing about this Ghostbusters trailer so far seems bad to me that I've heard of it. I mean, we'll see when the final product comes out. They have a lot of goodwill to win back after that last thing. It sounds
like we're going to get Bill Murray back with a proton pack on his back. Based on something he said.
I was happy enough just to hear that Ernie Hudson and Annie Potts were coming back. Yep. Because I always liked Winston a lot. So, and you never know, the three remaining may show up.
Bill Murray was the big get, and honestly, all of them getting any of them back after. They've all said this. They got a bait and switch with the 2016. They showed up to do their scenes, and they were completely different. The script was completely different than what they were shown when they signed. And Dan Aykroyd was really pissed about it. He was really pissed.
Wait a minute. You mean they were dealing with a different script before they shot it? Okay.
Originally, when they got everyone signed on, the 2016 movie was billed as a sequel. It was everything that we said we wanted it to be, where they were going to be in canon, the Ghostbusters handing off the reins to, the new Ghostbusters, and it was going to be a continuation.
So something like Extreme Ghostbusters, where you have the new generation coming up, and taking over. Yeah. Okay.
And unfortunately, when they got on set, nope, you guys are going to be playing completely different characters, and this is a complete reboot. Your Ghostbusters never happened. Well, fuck you very much. And that's basically how they all felt about it. And they're like, well, we're under contract. We don't have a choice. So they did their scenes and they left.
Everyone got very angry with that trick. It says in 1980 something, 4 scientists saved New York City. And they're, yeah. And then some guy, while I was watching the rewatch, says, wait a minute, Winston wasn't a scientist.
Right. Exactly. So now they're going back and they're doing it right. And there's going to be a big push. If you like this, then you hate women and you're an istophobe. And we cannot let that happen. We need to support, fandom. Okay. I mean, I don't care if you're the type that wants to support your Snyder cut, or you want to support Sonic or Alita Battle Angel. We got to support the things we love. Okay. Because that's the only way Hollywood gets the message. If you tune out and avoid everything, you don't exist to them anymore. You no longer have a say. That's like the person that doesn't go to vote because you don't believe your vote counts anymore. Well, fine. You give up your right to bitch and moan. Just because you have a YouTube channel doesn't mean anyone gives a crap what you're saying.
Yeah, you went on a rant earlier this week about you're getting tired of people. Like, was that like a generational rant about people thinking their opinion is the most important thing in the world and all this? Remember that? You were saying that?
Actually, I don't remember because I go on so many rants. But
that might have been a MeWe, I think, or something. Yeah,
but it's true because you're right. It was my status on MeWe. Yeah,
that's right. That's what
these snowflakes think that their opinions are so important that they can inflict them on other people. No, you're allowed to have your opinion, but you have no right to enforce that opinion on someone else. Basically, this whole thought police thing that we live in. And you can call me an ist, you can call me a phobe. You know what? I don't give a flying F what you think of me. I know whether or not I am. Okay. My wife sees nothing sexist in me. Okay. And friends of mine like Wolf 10 Media and Evelyn Hampton, okay, will tell you if I'm an ist of any kind. Okay. But I touch base with them and they go, nope, we love you. You're our brother.
Okay. Cool.
So
brother from another mother.
Exactly. And well, for Evelyn, be more like a son, I suppose.
Okay, I gotcha.
but still,
All right. So we have some nicer stories coming up, I think, or at least more interesting.
Actually, I thought the Ghostbusters was good.
Actually, the Ghostbusters one is positive. I'm not against that. I you know what it is? I think of Ghostbusters and I think of how we got burned a few years ago. But I think they wised up and realized, look, let's just make a good movie. It's got a good cast. And some people are complaining about Paul Rudd. I think Paul Rudd's fine in the Ant-Man movies. I think he'll be fine in this. We can't have it just be, the kids because I mean, we need someone in between. There's too big a generation gap, so if it's going to be Paul Rudd, I'm good with that, All right. So our next story, Microsoft is teaming up with popular VTubers to show off Xbox Game Pass in Japan. Now, you had I think Matchstick had introduced you to
was that those videos?
The anime girls. Yes, the little anime.
Nanette and I wasted way too much time on those over the past couple weeks.
Yeah, my brother's obsessed with them. Shows them to me a lot too. That's why I knew about them before.
So funny. My understanding. Maybe I'm completely missing the shtick here, but apparently it's a bunch of Japanese girls that do these,
or young women. I think they're old, young adults, like out of high school,
right?
Out of high school, yeah. Well, they act like girls.
I'm a 50-year-old fart, so they're kids to me, right?
Okay, yes,
they're all kids to me.
Well, they act like kids on the streams anyway,
and that's part of it, right? Yeah. And they're playing, and all they're really doing is they're playing video games. And what I love too is, for the most part, they try to keep it, kind of PG-13.
Yeah.
So when something shows up in the game that's, adult, the one girl will put her icon in the middle and go, no, we got kids watching this. It's the middle of the day here. You know?
You can get into trouble just like our TV standards,
so hard.
Yes.
It's actually funnier the way she's trying to censor it than if you actually saw anything. And then in the one scene, like she's at a strip club or whatever, and you see her avatar turn around as if her avatar is actually watching the stripper, and she's going, oh. I'm laughing so hard because she's just screwing around here.
The funny thing is I don't know if there's a bit of a culture shock because they're playing a lot of Western video games on a lot of these streams.
Oh yeah,
because I think for a while, like the Japanese company said, no, we're not going to let you play our games on the stream.
I love you. Stay home.
So they end up playing a lot of Western games. I think now the Japanese companies are letting them play stuff like Yakuza and Resident Evil and stuff like that. But like, for a while, it was just and now Xbox in Japan, because they're trying to make inroads in Japan. And let's be honest, Microsoft Xbox, very American system. They've tried selling this thing in Japan. They won't touch it. Recently, there's been a little more interest over there in Japan since I think they've really turned on Sony over there because Sony moved their headquarters to California and became all woke. And the Japanese know they've become woke. They even shut down their Japanese studio. They're yelling at Japanese developers to, censor their games and whatnot. And, and
Japan is not having any of that.
They're not liking it. So I think now the people that might have, a lot of people are just buying the Nintendo Switch or playing on mobile, but some want something more powerful. I think they're looking at the PS5 and looking at the Xbox and thinking, maybe I should just get an Xbox. And I think Microsoft sees the possibility with this, and they're saying, let's get the VTubers to push and promote, which is Xbox Live, okay?
Yeah.
And Microsoft Xbox hasn't had an easy time in Japan, and recent Nintendo Switch exclusive Monster Hunter has already shipped 4 million copies behind only. Okay, what does that have to do with anything? Okay, hold on. Clearly Microsoft knows it has to flip its fortunes in Japan and has been making moves to advertise Xbox Game Pass to gaming audiences in that region. Xbox Game Pass, you pay a monthly fee and you get access to all kinds of games. It's like if you're subscribing to Netflix, but for games. You can download a game and play it.
Well, you know how I feel about that.
You own physical own physical media. You can still buy physical media off of the store. You can buy the digital media off the store. You can still buy physical discs too.
Yeah.
It's not, I'll be blunt though, especially with gaming, with all the patches and updates they do in the games, how physical is anything these days as far as games go. Yeah.
You have an excellent point. It's not like, I mean, the best you could do is, and even with the streaming services, like with EA on The Sims or whatever, when they move to the next version and they're no longer going to support it, they put out a patch. It becomes, resident on your hard drive, and it's good as long as that hard drive lasts.
And then you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brave New World. Anyway, I don't want to say what I heard about the PlayStations recently, how they have a battery that will eventually go off in them, and I don't want to think about it. That's a topic for another time. Anyway, this typically isn't a gaming stream.
Sounds like an iPhone.
Yeah, let's pick on Apple while I'm doing the stream on my iMac. Anyway, okay. Anyway, though, but apparently, yesterday I noticed a wave.
Hey, Birdman, how do you feel about iProducts?
Anyway, can I finish? We're talking about Microsoft, not Apple right now. Anyway,
okay.
Yesterday, I noticed a wave of Xbox Game Pass sponsored streams hitting Japanese VTuber channels, kicking off with Luna and Botan. Together, both streamers enjoying an audience of over 1 million subscribers. I was watching a bit of this. They were playing the Microsoft Flight Simulator. You know that one? They did a new one of that. And
I've watched videos of people playing that game, and some of them are hysterical. No, go ahead.
This is a clever way, I think, to push Xbox in Japan, because I think now Japanese game players are used to these VTubers playing a lot of American Western games, and they might think I might want to play that. I go out and buy an Xbox. You can even buy a digital edition and just not that you want to do that, but they might in Japan because it's small and they don't have to worry about owning a lot of stuff because the space is sometimes a premium over there, especially in the big cities. They can buy this thing, they can download the games and play these American games that they've seen the VTubers playing. And there are also Japanese games on them too. Like they have like the Dragon Quest games and other things are available on Xbox now. So I don't know. It's an interesting strategy they're going with. I wonder if it could win for them.
There's another element that I can only speculate about, but I do speculate about this. The Japanese are, and I admire this about them. I think rightfully so. They tend to be kind of nationalistic. It's like, hey, Japanese first.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to be kind of resistant to anything from outside.
They might, but the thing is, here's the thing. You have the Nintendo Switch. I love my Nintendo Switch to death, but Nintendo hardware, at least in recent years, they're always focusing more on other things like the Wii remote, or with the Switch, the fact you can make it a portable or a console.
Sure.
And they're not as powerful as the other game consoles. And I know for you, and nothing's as powerful because you're a Mr. PC, but but the point is that someone in Japan who might want to buy a higher end game console, they would usually just go with Sony. But now Sony has angered them. Okay.
Yeah.
And Sony is basically not even a Japanese company anymore. They shut down their Japanese game studio.
I do like
it.
That.
Isn't. They moved it out to California. See, we were kind of praising Sony earlier. Now I'm picking on them. Okay. And their game division's gone very woke, and they're not very nice to Japanese developers. And Microsoft's a bit better. They're not perfect either, but I don't feel like
I do like the highlighted comment you put up there. Microsoft, hi Japan. I hear you're pissed at Sony. Want a quality replacement?
And no, I think they realize it, because I don't know what social media is like over there. I don't know what their YouTubers are talking about, what their gaming sites are talking about. We only get the woke stuff over here. Over in Japan, they may be calling us the Yankee pigs are trying to.
Maybe. Who knows?
I watched some video of some Japanese guy who was angry, and I heard him yelling this. He says, "Yankee pig, F you," and like, you know what I mean? And he was yelling and saying, you know what? Maybe some of you need to say that when they start making you change the manga over there, or make it change the manga.
I agree, and I would not blame him for saying it. I kind of feel that way myself sometimes. No, it's true.
Yes, PC Master Race. I've heard that. I love NES games. I love NES games too. I don't love cleaning them, Melissa. Anyway. Oh, but actually, that leads to our next
yes,
topic.
It does.
Melissa.
I was just thinking.
Okay. I'm gonna read this. This is Melissa. Do you happen to have a sealed copy of Super Mario? People yell how I say it. Mario Brothers for the NES. Do you happen to have a sealed copy of that?
If you do, you might be able to.
If you do, I can buy it from you for $40. Come on. What? Oh, okay. This is from the Japan Times. Let me go ahead and post this. Give me 1 second. Okay. Boy, cutting and pasting.
Yeah.
They need to make it simpler. Okay. I'm kidding. Anyway, sealed copy.
Control C, Control V. How much?
Whatever. I'm joking. Anyway.
Boomer.
Sealed copy of.
Stay home.
Yes. Sealed copy of Super Mario Brothers sets auction record at $660,000.
Yeah. That's
from the Japan Times. I'm reading this article here. Okay.
Go for it.
New York, a factory sealed copy of Nintendo Company's Super Mario Brothers originally.
Why are you saying it that way?
Because people say, I say Mario, and they yell, no, it's Mario. And it's like, okay, I know. They yell at me.
It's a Mario.
It's a Mario. Yes.
There you go. I don't mind.
Mario Brothers. Okay. All right.
You have to affect a fake Italian accent in order to say it properly. Go for it.
Okay. I'm going to start again. A factory sealed copy of Nintendo Company's Super Mario Brothers, originally bought in 1986, sold for $660,000 at U.S. auction house Heritage Auctions.
I just spewed my soda all over myself.
Well, have fun, okay? I'll put that clip at the beginning of. I'll cut that clip out for you.
Oh my!
Can I finish reading this article?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Stop.
I'm enjoying myself.
Did you know they made Mario soda at one point? Did you know that?
I did not.
And it came in different fruit flavors. I got all the cans. I remember.
I would have spewed that too if you did that to me.
Anyway, let's continue. Okay. It was the highest price ever paid for a video game, according to Heritage Auctions, which held the auction on Friday. The limited edition video game, designed for markets outside Japan, was purchased in late 1986 as a Christmas gift, but was placed inside a desk drawer and remained.
That's always the way these things happen, right?
And remained untouched until it was discovered earlier this year. The previous record for a copy of Super Mario Brothers for non-Japanese markets was 114,000, set in July last year at Heritage Auctions. Well, somebody lost out. Okay, in November last year, a copy of Super Mario Brothers, I can't do it, 3, sold for $156,000 at the auction house. That was the third one. Probably nice. Okay.
Let me ask you something about this. Okay.
Well, I know I want to bring something up to you. Okay.
Sure.
I got a proposition to offer you.
Oh God.
I have a loose Super Mario Brothers cart here.
Okay.
And it doesn't have the box. It's just loose, but it's that version. And listen, I'll part with it for $20,000. I'll send it to you. Send me $20,000. Okay. All right. I'm trying to help you out.
What am I going to do with it?
You're going to sell it at Heritage Auctions for like 10 times that. It doesn't have the box, but even in box, it's going to be worth a lot.
No,
give me that $20,000. I'm trying to help you.
Oh, yes, you are.
I'm trying to help you, and you're just brushing me off. 10,000.
I can't afford it. I can't afford it.
No,
Heck, I don't even spend that kind of money on action figures I want.
Look, okay, go ahead. You're going to ask me something earlier.
So I in the thumbnail, I posted the picture of the sealed, I'm assuming that's what it looks like, and it's got the grading on it and everything like that. If it's sealed like this, does that mean that it's likely to be in really good condition? It's not going to be corroded. And I mean, if you wanted to take the thing out and play it,
it'll be perfect condition. Yeah. In fact, they made the Nintendo cartridges were made fairly good back then. I mean, granted, I've been complaining about cleaning them all the time, but yeah,
but you're talking about games that have been played with,
that have been who knows that they left it in a garage for 20 years and dust collected all inside or whatever else. Okay, no,
in an open box.
It'll my cartridges play fine because I kept my boxes. Okay, the ones I bought when I was a kid. Which wasn't this game, which I had seen at a Toys R Us in 1989 for $24.99.
Gosh,
if only I had bought it and when I was 12 or 11, whatever old I was, and just stuck it into a vault somewhere.
I wasn't even joking when I said there's always a story like this, right? When Nanette and I first got married in 92, literally the first week that we were married, we were helping her mom pack up her apartment here in Chicago to move out to the West Coast. And she's just going through stuff. And she's like, oh, you like Star Wars, don't you? I'm like, yeah, I really like Star Wars. She goes, I got these cards here that I'd originally gotten these for the grandkids and never got around to giving them. So here, you want them? And I looked, and what she was calling cards was action figures on cards. It was 2 of each of the original 12 action figures from 1976. And I was like, Mom, do you realize how valuable these are? She goes, well, I'm not going to get the money out of them. You take them and sell them if you think they're that valuable. So I had 2 of each of the original 12 backs. What I ended up doing, because I knew unless I went through an auction house, I wasn't going to get, the Han Solo at the time in 92 was worth about $330. That's high end because they weren't in perfect condition. But I ended up trading them for the newer figures that were coming out at the time. And I got hundreds of dollars worth of action figures just from those. Okay. Could I have gotten more for them? Sure, I could have. But,
I sold all of those.
No, we traded a lot of them with that guy that had the secondhand toy store for credit. But yeah, we did sell some of them. And to be honest with you, the value of them isn't there anymore because of all the repros and the re-releases and the retro figures. And unless you're somebody who absolutely has to have an original vintage, and then they're gonna pick apart, well, the bubble is a little crushed or the corner's a little bit dog-eared, and you're not gonna, the value just hasn't held.
I'm gonna say this too. That was too much for this thing. I'm sorry.
Really?
Unless it was some kind of exclusive version that I didn't know about. I'm sure it would fetch a good amount of money if you still had it sealed, but over $500,000. No. I think there's speculation in this market. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I think there's speculation in this market, and
That's part of it. There's another element to these auctions. This was an auction, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to understand what happens at these auctions. You get a couple collectors together, and they've got the money. These are usually wealthy people, right? And they realize they're throwing their money away.
Like
And
Mark
they get-
Zuckerberg wants an
Exactly.
original Super Mario.
Exactly. And they get caught up. And now it's not just I want this Super Mario Brothers game. I want to beat that effer over there. And now it's become a dick waving competition. I have more money than you do, and I'm getting this thing. Honestly, Nanette and I have fallen into that too, going to conventions and I've
Really?
yeah, we've spent too much on some action figures just because. And I'd be like, honey, yeah, I want that thing, but we are now well past the value. She goes, I don't care, I want the damn thing. Okay. Because now it's her that wants it, right? You know, and
that's funny.
And I'll be honest with you, 5-10 years down the line, I'll find this thing and go, oh, we've got this. Yeah, don't you remember we got it in that auction? We paid way too much for it. Oh my gosh, this is brilliant. This is awesome. Oh my God, yay! You know, but you know, I mean, that's us. But we're not talking $660,000. We're talking maybe $200.
I do own some sealed video games. I have an original New Adventure Island for the TurboGrafx 16 still sealed because I was part of a buy one get one free thing when they were closing them out.
Sure.
And I was like, I don't need another copy of this, but I got to pick some games. So I picked the game I thought would be most valuable to another TurboGrafx collector, and maybe I would trade it to him someday for something else. But I never read it. So I still have that sealed. It's got a little bend in the top, but that's how it came in the mail.
I'll tell you, the danger sometimes is I'll play a video, and you know, you'll be like, I don't know, whether it's retro blasting or you know, whoever, Toy Ploy or somebody who's talking about some Star Wars action figures, and they'll be talking about some valuable toy that they're hoping gets re-released because, you know, it's going for over $300 on eBay or whatever. And Netter will be like, do you have that? I'm like, I don't know, probably. And I'll look and I'll go, yep, I got that one. You know, you got it for me, you know, 6 years ago, you know, when it was, you know, still attainable, you know, but no, we're not going to resell it because now I've got it off package because I got it for a diorama. You know, it's worth more to me as part of my collection than, you know, selling it for, you know, and 2 weeks from now, you know, the value is going to drop when they release the new version. So forget it.
That'll be a good topic for us for another time. Maybe there is a good old, or maybe even on your stream or something, telling us about the valuable stuff that we've collected. Like, what do we own that we think is valuable?
I already blew my load on the 12 backs that I just told you about now.
Well, I'm sure you have other stuff.
Yeah, probably. I'll have to look around. You're probably right.
You have the anyway.
But
you have the Luke Skywalker with the two different colored eyes or something. I don't know. Anyway, do we have time for the rest of this stuff, or should we?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was just looking. It looks like Mr. Matchstick doesn't have a stream after us.
Right. Because I think he was going to take a break. We are going to be on a stream with him on Tuesday, though.
Yeah.
Highly recommend you check it out. It's the Culture Fortress.
Yep.
And it's we're going to be talking about the stuff that we like that hasn't been infected by the wokeness.
Usually for Boomer and me, it's old stuff because, you know, the old stuff has probably been forgotten. But
yeah, the thing I'm picking this time actually is an older one. But I discovered it last year. It's not something I grew up with. It's something I discovered while we were all stuck at home. And I was like, what's this old TV show I never heard of? And you'll find this out on Culture Fortress. Definitely check that out.
Yep, kind of.
But both 10 I think will be on there too with us as well. So
that'll be up. Is that Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
I
think Tuesday 8:30 on Mr. Matchstick's channel.
Yep.
Oscars 2021. Why the show will have no host. You know, the Oscars. I'll read from the article. We're all excited about the Oscars. I know you host a yearly Oscar party. I know now you got to do it by Skype with all your cheese eating friends and whatnot. I'm kidding.
It's funny you say that because I do have friends out on the left coast.
Kidding me?
That really do. They're really into what people are wearing and all this kind of stuff. But what's funny is they have friends in Hollywood, right? And that's why they follow this stuff. And yet they're conservative. So they are very keen to rip apart the things they say and stuff like that. It's kind of fun to watch on socialist medias.
I am not in the mood this year.
I know.
Don't you dare. Not this year. You basically got everything you wanted, but you're still going to find something to complain about. Anyway, Lights, Camera, Action, the annual Academy Awards ceremony with all its glamorous fashion, surprising wins, and unforgettable moments, blah, blah. So they're the biggest night in Hollywood. Okay. Such icons like Johnny Carson, Whoopi Goldberg, Bob Hope, Steve Martin, and Chris Rock have used their turns hosting the awards show to etch their name in showbiz history. Yes, there have been a few duds in the past, but not everyone can be Billy Crystal. Yeah, that was David Letterman. That was as the Tinseltown prepares to celebrate all the best and brightest stars, here's what you need to know about this year's who's hosts this year's Academy Awards, or in the case of 2021, who isn't. Okay, this is not. You know what?
They don't care.
I don't care. Okay, Steven Soderbergh says he's filming this. Is it going to be filmed in advance and it's going to be like a movie? He was talking like this. That's what he's saying. Like it's going to be like you're watching a movie, but all the stars are participants in the movie. Well, there'll be like pre-taped winning speeches and not for each person, and then they select the win. I don't know how this is going to work. It sounds odd this year, but here we go. Here we get to the host part. Okay. We haven't even used the word host, frankly, says Soderbergh, who won the Academy Award Best Director for 2000 Traffic. Overrated movie. Okay. We're calling it our ensemble because there's a sort of overarching structure to the evening that they all participate in. So it's just that word. The H world just doesn't apply to what we're doing. So I think he's trying to do something else. This is going to be a weird night from the sound of it. But remember, the last host they were supposed to have was Kevin Hart, right?
Yep.
And this was before cancel culture was known as cancel culture. He made some, I think it was what the media said were old homophobic social media posts from 10 years prior. Okay. And he basically said, well, I'm evolved. He says, I'm sorry that I hurt people. I'm evolving and want to continue to do so. Okay.
Yeah.
But, he had to drop out of that. So, and that was the last time we had any hosts. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I like that, who was it? Mr. Matchstick is saying, please bring back Ricky Gervais. Let me tell you something.
That was Golden Globes, though. But
yeah,
yes,
it was Golden Globes.
They should bring him for the Oscars. Oh,
man.
But
the thing is, here's the thing. What was it that I said when you shared this article with me? The Oscars aren't going to have a host. That's perfect. They don't have a friggin' audience. So who gives a crap?
I sent you that clip from Real Time where Bill Maher was talking about the nominees because they're all horribly dark and depressing movies that make you want to, take a bath with a toaster, he said, right?
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
And I'm thinking, no, last year was a problem for movies, but Greyhound, I mentioned this movie, the Apple TV Plus, but it's all right. It's good enough. Okay. It was a good World War II naval movie. They could have nominated that even if they didn't want to give it the best picture. Wasn't Pixar's Soul supposed to be good? They could have nominated that. I guess they have that in the animated category.
I'm friggin' surprised Wonder Woman didn't sweep the Oscars.
Well, no.
So few things came out in the theaters.
But I don't know if I bet they ignored the rules because it's supposed to have a theatrical. They said, well, it's a pandemic. We can't. So they'll put
Not to mention now the rules are you got to have so many women, you got to have so many minorities.
Those aren't supposed to take effect until like 10 years when they can figure out another way around that. I'm sorry. My point is, I think they act non-racist when they're just virtue signaling. That's all this is. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's something that Bill Maher actually said too.
Yeah, it's like we'll see how. Like if it's not that never mind. I don't feel like getting into it. Anyway, Academy Awards are when? 2 weeks from now? Or a week from now?
I don't know.
You might have to be. I know some of you may be skipping on the stream for those, so that's fine. I'll understand. Okay.
I'm sure our whole audience.
I might record it though if it's weird. I'm going to say this: the old Academy Awards. A lot of people attacked them. They were the best movie never won Best Picture, but they were better back in the day. Like say what you will, the original Star Wars didn't win Best Picture, but it got a nomination. Mm-hmm. It did. Did you know that?
I didn't, but okay.
The original Star Wars got a nomination for Best Picture. I believe all the Lord of the Rings movies got a nomination for Best Picture. One of them won. So it's not like they're always against genre movies. Sometimes the wins don't make any sense. Okay.
Well, Yeah, but back then you
and
expected,
sometimes the noms don't make sense either. But sometimes they do an okay job. Other times they mess up. Okay.
And for years you expected, you weren't going to get the genre films probably winning Best Picture, but you'd expect them to win things like scores or special effects or something like that, especially when they were particularly good and cutting edge. But that's back when these awards actually did kind of mean something. Where they had some modicum of integrity. That's gone the way of the dodo by now.
I mean, I could argue even in the case of Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs, if you look at it, is really a horror movie, and that did win Best Picture the year it came out. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not.
But
they may not have built it as
writing.
one.
But it was good writing.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a well-told story. Horror, yes, but also thriller, dramatic, and well written. I mean, there's something good to be said about it.
But you're right. There probably is a thing against, especially what they call, I guess, the escapist types movies. And I know that Bret Easton Ellis made a point that the reason the Oscars went to the 9 nominees was because they didn't nominate The Dark Knight the year it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think deep down, they realized that was stupid. They should have given it a nom for Best Picture. Just giving a nom doesn't mean it's going to win Best Picture, but they should have at least given it the nom because it was such a well-made movie. And I think they decided to do the 9.
There is so much to, I've heard this debate many, many times that you have movies that are huge blockbusters that are completely snubbed by these elitists. And then you got crap virtue signal films that are winning all the awards.
Well,
and anyone with any effing brains looks at that and says, you people are so out of touch. You literally are a bunch of rich morons sitting around in a circle jerk. That's what the Oscars has become.
Brian Gilmartin says, ever notice how no comedy has ever won an Oscar? They used to. I know Woody Allen won, I think, I forget what the Annie Hall. I think that won Best Picture the year it came out.
Annie Hall,
comedies have won in the past. It's recently, though, probably I don't know how old you are, probably in your lifetime, if you're a younger man, they have not given it. I was shocked when I think the one year Chicago won because that was a musical. Like they really are like, it's always the dramas, dramas.
And this is my problem. They've really lost sight of what the entertainment industry is. Why isn't there a category specifically for comedies?
There is for Golden Globe. Golden Globe, I think, has comedy and musical. Okay,
so maybe someone needs to explain to me what the hell the difference is between these two effing things.
The Golden Globes are usually better as far as the award nominees go. The Oscars were created. I don't know if I mentioned this on a stream in the past, but I learned this. Hollywood had a very bad reputation. Surprise, surprise, back in the old days. And I think the Academy Awards were created to give it a bit more prestige, and say, no, see, these people are not these degenerates. They're and to be fair, the stars, even back in the old days, even when they would do stuff behind closed doors, at least publicly, they were better. You know what I mean? Yeah. They put on a better face.
They at least tried to hide the
shameful stuff. And that's all I
now it's they want to be recognized for it.
Yes, but I don't know. We'll see. Who am I kidding? I'm not watching this thing. And all the nominees this year, it looks like how you usually have like the depressing indie drama or whatever will win the Best Picture. That's all we have nominated this year.
That's all that's actually been released.
No, but you know what? Greyhound was good enough, especially in this market, to have gotten a nom. Tom Hanks, World War II movie. Come on.
Yeah.
I would have nominated at least. I don't know. Never mind. We're moving on. Speaking of movie or movie characters that are in comics and based on a literary character. Anyway, artist Aaron Lopresti reveals Dynamite Entertainment required him to censor his cover for James Bond, Agent of Spectre.
Yeah, apparently he wanted to put Gina Carano on it. No, I'm kidding.
Gina Carano would have made I'm going to say the word. I don't care if it's now wrote Bond girl. Would have been a perfect Bond girl.
Yup. Oh God!
It would have been so against type. Oh man!
Talk about the Bond girl for the 21st century, right?
She would have been perfect. I don't know. Oh, never mind. Okay. I'm mad now. Okay.
But no, I
They would have
joke.
cast her anyway even before the whole thing
Yeah.
happened.
I joke, of course, because all
know
they
what?
really did was it was a comic book artist
Hey,
who
Ben Shapiro. I just figured it out. Do a secret agent movie, Gina Carano.
right?
I think that could happen. Okay, go ahead. All right.
No, it basically was, you know what a James Bond comic book cover would look like? It would look just like, you know, you would expect a James Bond movie poster to look like. Not the movie posters of today, but the classic James Bond movie posters. And of course, you got to have the sexy girl on the cover. Nope, not today.
Oh, let me read.
Hashtag me too.
Let me read this. Oh, I'm not happy. And we find out why, too, in this
Mhm.
article, too. Veteran comic book artist Aaron Leprostre has revealed that Dynamite Entertainment required him to censor his original cover to James Bond, Agent of Spectre, in order to avoid portraying the eponymous secret agent as a quote-unquote a sexist character.
Yeah.
Lepresti, whose work included stints on Justice League and Incredible Hulk, informed his viewers of the censorship during a March 20th episode of Aaron Live, the artist's self-titled and regularly held live stream. Continuing the breakdown of his cover art history that he had been exploring throughout a number of his most recent live streams, Lepresti eventually turned to his cover for the upcoming third issue of Dynamite James Bond Agents of Spectre series, which he noted to be a takeoff of Jim Steranko's, I believe it's Nick Fury Agents of Shield, Nick Fury Agent of Shield number 4.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Let me go ahead and share the. I'm going to share the cover with you. Hold on. Let me do a share screen. Do a share screen. Share screen.
It's good artwork. A good. I'm going to call it parody because he's definitely, you know, he's kind of expecting comic book fans to recognize what the inspiration was here.
All right. Let me know if you're seeing this. Hold on. Can you see it? Let me bring it up.
I see the article.
Can you see the
I
screen?
See your background.
Can you see this?
Yes, I see it.
Okay,
now.
good.
Yes.
I'm not a boomer. Okay, well, somewhat. Okay.
Well, you kind of are.
Okay, but anyway, Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. That looks like a cool comic book. I'd like to read that.
Maybe take down the
what?
Comment that's
what
covering
comment?
the bottom half of
for the love of Mike. Let's do this again. Oh, yeah, my comment. I was going to yell at whoever it was, and it was me. Of course, I was going to put it there anyway. All right, view as full screen. Here we go. I like both.
Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you.
Love both covers. Okay. I actually want to read that Marvel comic. 12 cents for a comic book. Those were the days.
Right. Right.
But I like this Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Just to give some context to why they're doing this homage here, because Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. was directly inspired by James Bond for this cover. So they're like, okay, well, we're doing a comic book of James Bond. We're going to reference the comic book that was influenced by James Bond, right?
I like this. You have Statue of Liberty.
Yep.
Big Ben.
Right.
And I'm assuming that might be a sexy woman there. We have a sexy woman here, larger character because it's a Bond movie. It looks like she's wearing lingerie, not naked, as they are in the opening credits of many of these movies.
Exactly.
So that's not odd. And
you got your vehicle, you got your car, you got him holding the two guns.
Nick Fury's gun, Walter PPK on the Bond side. See,
right. Exactly.
I like it. I'd actually like to read both comics. They both look good. And I think my initial reaction to what's going on here was to Dynamite. Let me go ahead and stop. Okay, good. We're back to normal.
Yep.
Okay. My initial reaction was whatever you're paying for this Bond license, it's too much because it wasn't Dynamite's decision to do this. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Lepresti says they reveal that despite the sheer quality of the work and the specific request by a Dynamite editor for a piece to homage Steranko, the same editor eventually demanded that the scantily clad woman to Bond slip be covered up. See the girl in the underwear? Apparently the James Bond people getting all woke and all. They don't want to show James Bond being a sexist character anymore. So they don't want any more girls in bikinis or underwears on the covers. all that kind of stuff, explained Lopresti, who then admitted that he is now being required to put a dress on her. I have to do that this week, he concluded. Photoshop a dress over her to cover up. Curiously, it appears that the Dynamite editor's request came sometime after the cover was revealed to the public, as Lopresti's uncensored version appears on previews for the title found at various outlets, including Amazon and Previews World. This is the Bond producers doing this.
Yeah. And this comes after 30 years of us being told that women being able to show their bodies was them being liberated. And that if you tell them they need to cover up, the problem is with you and you're slut shaming them. Just saying.
Yeah.
Now they can't figure out what it is that they want. And I'll tell you something else. These people that are doing James Bond, if you have such a problem with what James Bond is, stop making freaking James Bond anything. Don't license it. Don't make the movies. Leave it the hell alone. If he's so evil, and because this is what James Bond is.
There is nothing in that cover that I think is in bad taste.
Nope.
The Bond movies have always been PG, and this is just ridiculous. This is where we are. This is where we are.
It is.
I don't know what they want James Bond to be anymore.
Actually, I'm a little bit more concerned about that title. Did you even notice the title?
Agent of Spectre.
Agent of Spectre, right?
No, I don't.
That goes right up there with Captain America, Agent of Hydra. You know.
Here is what I don't know anything about this comic book.
Yeah.
What I think might be kind of funny is that he's maybe in this thing he's going undercover inspector.
Yeah, and
because
James Bond has done that before.
Remember in Dr. No says, "I'd like you to become an agent of Spectre," because they respect the fact that he killed so many of his men. Yeah. You could actually work for us. And imagine if we do that, James Bond takes the deal, but it's just to go undercover.
Yeah.
Not impossible if that's where they're going. If it's something else, then no. But
it could literally be him pretending that he's changing sides. It could be him taking a different identity and going undercover.
That's true.
It is a comic book. It could be an alternate universe. This is mirror universe.
This happens in the Mission Impossible movies. Like Ethan Hunt will put on the fake face, or even the face gets to sort out. Hopefully, they don't know what this guy looks like, and he'll pose as the criminal.
Yeah.
In order to stop something worse from happening. But then they'll make him do something that goes against his code, and he has to figure a way around that. And that's sort of what this is making me think of.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Mission Impossible movies are more like Bond movies than the Bond movies are now. This is not.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on now.
It's a clown world we live in. It really is.
These movies are very expensive to make. This one is way over budget. And part of me wants to know, and we'll never know, is this the audience is rejecting the woke? Is it going to do badly because of it has to go straight to streaming, or it's going to have a limited theatrical run? I don't know. Yeah, and it's probably losing money anyway. Okay, right now, even while it's not being released.
They're saying that every week that it's not released, they lose. I don't remember how many thousands of dollars they say they're losing, just because they've gone into debt to finance the thing in the first place. That's how these movies are made. So,
they used to churn these. They used to churn these Bond movies out too. Yep. In the old days, once every year. Then it went to every 2 years because, of course, budgets go up, effects, and they're running out of books too.
There's that too.
Okay, but then it was every 2 years, and then with the Brosnans, with the Brosnans in the beginning, it was every 2 years, and then we get to Craig, and everything stalled, and like everything. I mean, granted, in the beginning it was Murphy's Law. You had the writer's strike, then the MGM buyout didn't happen, so he was in limbo because of that. But I don't know.
I also feel like there's all kinds of weirdness going on with the rights and stuff, and distribution versus production, and I don't know. It's very complicated. I have not followed it the way I have Star Trek, but it's some weird stuff.
Oh, Samuel Proctor, Mission Impossible. Now there's a franchise that hasn't been corrupted. Not bad. I think all and it's odd because Abrams was involved in that too, but maybe he took a backseat at some point because when they got brought back for part 3, he directed part 3, but for the most part, actually, he wasn't a problem for Mission Impossible because he had done Alias, and I liked Alias. Back when I liked Abrams. That's when Abrams got put in charge of Star Wars. I was like, okay, this might work. And Star Trek.
What did I say Abrams' biggest problem was? He doesn't know how to end anything.
Yeah.
The thing's still going on. So, it's not really a problem. I do want to mention one thing, though, guys. I typed it in. There's, about 7 of y'all that are watching along that seem to be enjoying us enough to watch the show. You haven't hit the thumbs up. I mean, what's the deal, guys? Give us some love here. It's not like we're monetized and we're making any money off this. Least you could do is give us a
hit thumbs up.
Give us a thumbs up and let us know you want us
now
to
you're
keep doing this every week.
Not that we're shaming you or anything. You'll be a cool if you hit that thumbs up. I just made this 10 times worse, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. It's kind of awkward. I have no problem shaming them. If you're going to sit and listen to us for 3 hours, the least you could do is, we can't hear you clapping, so the least you could do
to
is
be fair, I think
up.
on the stream the other night, someone was saying hit thumbs up. I was like, yeah, hit thumbs up. And I was like, oh, I haven't hit thumbs up yet.
Right. I did that to Matthew Flynn this morning. I'm like, did you hit? No, I don't think it's appropriate to hit like on your own video. I'm like, why not? Do you not think you're doing a good job?
Oh, I should hit thumbs up on mine. Of course, I'm on StreamYard right now. Anyways,
is that it? Thumb fu. Is that what it is? Thumb fu? It's like kung fu, but it's with your thumb.
I'm for thumb fool. Like, I already hit it. Don't be yelling at me. Okay, I gave you a thumbs up.
It was
everyone gave us a thumbs up now, didn't they? Okay. It must have been those other people that didn't give the thumb up. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, there's like 6 people that have
sort of like, comment, and subscribe. You can make a comment after the stream is over. You think of something later, I will respond to you in some capacity.
And maybe if you're really enjoying this, tell your friends that are also geeks that might be entertained. Hey, there's nothing on TV. Why don't you check this out on YouTube? And you don't even have to wait until the next show. You can listen to the last couple of them if you want.
Yeah, Mr. T Fu. I do try to do the clip videos as well. Oh, look, Mr. T Fu. Oh, remember Mr. T?
Okay,
I pity the fool.
I get it. Yeah.
Oh,
Mr. T had a really good cereal.
I used to get the Mr. T cereal.
Yeah.
Oh, my word. There you go. Next week's good old days, we're doing cereal.
Yeah, and I think they just repackaged it when they made the C-3PO cereal.
Really?
I think so. I think it was basically the same cereal, just in a different shape.
We're going to have a conversation. I'll tell you about another cereal they repackaged. Okay, remind me.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything left to talk about except for the big Indiana Jones news. We'll probably have more on that next week, maybe. I'm thinking, though, maybe this could be the thing that takes Kennedy down.
Or this is the last Molotov cocktail as she's walking out the door. I mean,
here's the thing.
Holy crap. She has really just ruined everything Lucasfilm. Period.
This movie's going to cost a lot of money to make. Harrison Ford is going to cost a small fortune. Okay. Because he always does. Which is maybe, never mind.
The movie is going to lose money. Look, it doesn't even have a chance. It doesn't have Spielberg. Spielberg freaking walked away from this thing.
It doesn't have Lucas either.
That tells you everything you need to know about this movie. Anyone who goes to see this movie and tries to prop it up is a moron. Seriously.
Oh, yep. Mr. Master says Jerry Anderson's UFO, the Shazam ISIS Hour. I want to hear about that. That's on the stream this Tuesday. BoJack Horseman and Legend of the Galactic Heroes are going to be the lineup for Culture Fortress Tuesday, 8:30 EST. Okay. I'm looking forward to it. You guys should join us too, definitely.
Really,
okay.
8:30 Eastern? That means 7:30 my time. Okay, I got.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it was then. It's 8:30 Eastern Standard and 7:30, I guess, in the weird part of the country where you don't have Eastern Standard. Everything's all messed up. Anyway,
it really is.
All right.
You're not even joking.
We'll talk more about Indy 5 next week. We're going to let it marinate for a bit, but I'm thinking that this could be I have too much to say about it. We'll be on until midnight. I want to go to bed. Anyway, we'll talk about it next week. Big news broke on Friday, but we will talk about it next week. Hopefully there'll be more details during the week about it too.
Go back and listen to my drunk stream. We already did talk about it.
All right.
But yeah, we can talk about it.
We talked about it a little bit, but we'll have more thoughts.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all have a good night and check us out on Tuesday. And what else do we have going on this week?
You guys know, everybody.
It's the usual.
It's the usual. Just make sure you subscribe to the people you like. Hit that notification bell so you know when they come on. Double check and make sure that you're subscribed and the notification bell is hit, because my understanding is those things get unclicked.
Yeah,
because YouTube is YouTube.
YouTube does stuff. Yeah, I think they did that with me in Midnight's Edge once. I think I noticed I wasn't subscribed to them. I said I know I subscribed to them. So yeah,
I mean, we got the rewatch on Saturday. We got us on Sunday. Matthew Flynn on Sunday morning. I'll have my drunk stream on Friday. Don't know what I'm talking about yet, but something.
All sorts of things. There's plenty of you to listen to, so you don't have to watch the Oscars or any other horrible awards program going.
That's why we're here. We are the alternative to all that bull crap that Hollywood's putting out. Okay.
All right, and Culture Fortress is going weekly. Okay.
Yeah.
And okay, all right, and they'll probably be having other guests on besides us, but they'll be cool too. So anyway, check it out, and we'll see you later.
Take care, everyone.
Good night.